you can leave whenever, but I just think with everything, they elected just to stay.
It's got to be because of the hassle to get in and out. So they'll just stay up there. So it'll be the Leafs tonight, and then the Canadians on Saturday. So nothing against Ottawa. A lot of news also has happened since we got off the airwaves. It has been made official in Blacksburg. They are moving on from Justin Fuente after this season. So he will not see a 7th season as Virginia Tech's head coach. They're going to be looking for somebody else. I have to believe, just because of how he's beloved, and I have no idea if he has any interest in this or not, just because some of the things that you're reading and hearing coming out of there, that, if you remember Justin Fuente at Memphis, you shouldn't be that surprised. Basically, their AD saying they need to find someone who engages the community, and the state of Virginia will be important. Justin Fuente was not very engaging. He kind of just was a ball coach, just was interested in kind of just being a football coach. And if you remember, I'm not even sure we ever had him on. Maybe once.
I think we did. We did have him on
one time. He came on, but he really wasn't that interested in doing interviews. Also, the AD said that person cannot be insular to these days. So, someone that's if you don't understand what that word means, there's, to me, I guess, 2 different ways to look at it. Narrow-minded is, I guess, the official definition of that, but the other is I just think that, they want somebody I've said this for years, like, you just can't – you don't get paid this kind of money just to say I'm just a ball coach. Like,
right.
Jeremy Pruitt, like, you're not. That's not how it works anymore. And I know that's what you could do when you were a high school coach in Alabama. That's great, but – you don't get to go to big boy schools and get paid lots of money just to say I'm just here to be a ball coach. Like, that's not how it works anymore, man. You have to be out there, man. You got to roll up your sleeves, and some do it better than others, but at least you got to pretend. And my guess is Justin Fuente really wasn't very good at pretending to act like he cared about anything other than being a football coach.
Yeah,
but the question is Bud Foster – because he's a guy that understands the program better than anybody. Is he a guy that
didn't he retire?
Well, I know, but is he somebody that could be talked out of retirement? Like when people retire, they never come out of retirement?
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I mean,
who's the Falcons' defensive coordinator again?
I understand.
How many times has he retired?
7.
It had 6, but okay.
It happens a lot. I get that, but I also kind of wonder if, you make a good point. You've kind of got me here, because I was about to say I think they're going to go up and comer, which is what they did before, and obviously that didn't work. But to me, it feels like Jamie Chadwell, Billy Napier, somebody like that. But does it do the program? Is it good for the program if you get Bud Foster for a couple seasons out of retirement to kind of rebuild things, get the fan base, back on board? He's a, beloved name, and then you go and hire somebody. That's interesting.
I mean, I know he did it for a long time, but it's not like Bud Foster's 82 years old.
No, I mean,
I think he's like 60 or something.
Yeah, he is.
I know he's done it forever, but
62.
I mean, it's not, give me a break. I mean, that's not crazy. I guess going by that scenario, was it, I mean, it's not like they're unstable. It's not like they're a train wreck, right? When I was going to use the Phil Fulmer reference, was it worth it for a couple of years for him to be AD to try to stabilize things? I guess to each his own. Everybody would have their own opinion. But think about where it was when he took over. I know there were, obviously some things that.
What is that job now? I asked Ryan.
Don't understand. What, Virginia Tech?
Ryan and I were walking in together this morning when the news broke, and I looked at him and I said, "What is that job?" And he kind of answered it the way I thought he would have. It's a good question. So how would you answer it before I tell you what he says?
I mean, it's a good program. I mean, you can win at Virginia Tech. I mean, Justin Fuente did.
Right. But is it like where in the – I know it's not an elite job. It's not, upper echelon, but where in the grand scheme of things – because he used the phrase, it's a good job, but it's overrated. And I don't think I disagree with that.
What does that mean? Overrated in what?
Well, and just
fashion?
like it's not, it's not one of the best in the ACC, even though I know
I would say Frank Beamer would push back on that.
Well, maybe at the time it was, but I mean, I'm asking you what it is now.
Well, but I mean, what's changed? I mean, you just have to have the right guy. I mean, Frank Beamer had it a ranked team every year, in the thick of things every year for a long time. I mean, Virginia Tech was considered one of the elite programs, right? They were always in the thick of things. And I don't think he didn't tear down any doors, if you're judging by that. National champion. I used to say that he's a guy that gets a whole lot of hype that finished things off. But, I mean, that's a guy that won double digits games
maybe
every year.
I guess that's where the overrated part comes in of, it's really, really good, but it's not – you're not going to be able to get over the hump there and win the whole thing.
Well, I don't know if I buy that. I think the right coach you can absolutely – you can, but you got to have the right coach. I mean,
well, and it's all about recruiting, and that's one thing that Fuente has had an issue with.
Yeah, it's more difficult.
I mean, Mac Brown is recruiting Virginia for North Carolina pretty heavily right now, and taking recruits that many feel could go to Virginia Tech. So I mean, that's one thing that whoever the next guy is, and to your point, maybe that's where Bud Foster can fix some things if if they go down that road. That he knows the area and can help with some of the recruiting in the in the home state, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad job by any means. I'm kind of asking, what is it at this point? And the ACC now, I would assume Clemson's going to come back. I mean, I'm going to say that they are until they don't, but I think the ACC in football has been relatively weak outside of Clemson. Florida State clearly hasn't come back. So it's an opportunity for sure to, kind of be one of the better programs alongside Clemson if Clemson comes back.
I mean, think about this sample from 1999 to 2011. 11-1, 11-1, 8-4, 10-4, 8-5, 10-3, 11-2, 10-3, 11-3, 10-4, 10-3, 11-3, 11-3. I mean, that's from 99 to 2011, so that's what, 12 years?
Yeah.
12.
With Beamer.
Looks like 13 seasons. You've got 6 of the 13, so almost half were 11-win seasons. I mean, you tell me. Okay, I mean, he didn't do it, but can you win? I mean, could you put yourself in position to get into the college football playoffs? The answer is yes.
Yeah, but what you just named is Frank Beamer. And I understand that, and so that's where they got to get this right. But you also have to look at a program that I'll use Tennessee as an example. There was a time where you could say that about Tennessee, and then they didn't make the right hires, and the program is nowhere near that now. The program has gone into a different tier. And so can the next guy – and I understand it's a huge task to follow Frank Beamer. That was one thing that was said from the very beginning. But can the next guy that they get it back to where Beamer had it, or is it going to continue to go the wrong direction?
Right, but how is it overrated if that's what I was getting? I mean, his worst season in that window was 8-5. I mean, every season in that 13 seasons, let's see, other than 2 were double-digit wins. I mean, that gives you a chance, right? I mean, so you have the opportunity, but you just have to have the right person in place. I mean, the way I look at things today, if you really the answer is if you have the right coach, you can win anywhere because all you have to do is get yourself right. I mean, with the play, all you got to do is get into the playoffs. I mean,
right, and it's about to get easier.
I mean, who says you can't win? Like, okay, I understand, you could say, well, Vanderbilt, all right. There obviously are people that would push back and say you cannot win it all at Vanderbilt because they haven't. And Kentucky hasn't, right? They haven't even won SEC championships. So, I mean, I get it. So I guess there are certain programs that you could say, well, they can't. But, I mean, are you telling me if – I mean, look what Mark Stoops has done. It's hard. It's harder than other places. But are you telling me you couldn't win it at Kentucky if you had the right coach? I don't think the answer is you can't.
I think I would answer that with I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen it. So, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. He didn't win a national championship at Virginia Tech, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. He put themselves in position to win it many, many times, but they just couldn't finish it off.
Yeah. I was reading this in The Athletic, and here's one thing that Virginia Tech is going to have to fix with this. Fuente's 10 full-time assistants were scheduled to earn a combined $3.9 million in 2021. That is far below Clemson, which is $8.14 million, and below North Carolina, which is $5.3. So they got to invest more in a staff. And I think they were only paying him like $4.25, which isn't bad, but you got to invest more in, because we know with recruiting now that coaches are more the head coach is more the closer than anything. It's getting the right staff members that can recruit and then obviously coach as well. So to me, I feel like that's something they're going to have to invest more in with the next guy is the staff.
Yeah, well, I mean that is the part that you can answer and push back on and say, is the school committed?
Right.
Is the school willing to pay? Is the school willing to, get the proper resources, right? I mean, so yeah. There is that.
And I have to guess that number went down once Bud Foster retired because I'm pretty sure Bud Foster was making, because he was a holdover. He hung around for a while under Fuente. He was there for so long. I would say he was making pretty good money. So I'm sure that number dropped once he retired. It is interesting you bring him up, though. Would they try that?
And I have no idea if he's willing to do it, but, would I would think they would at least ask, would they not?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think. I don't know.
I've seen some names floating around.
But when you hear that about, what the AD is saying they need, I mean, certainly you have to think that. I mean, there's nobody that understands their culture better than him. And Frank Beamer, right? Those two understand that culture better than anybody.
Well, I mean, there's one more name on that. I don't think they'll call him, but I've seen his name on, everybody's putting him on the candidate list. Shane Beamer. Do they go that route? 1 year at South Carolina hadn't looked great, but
I don't know.
But I mean, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that connection of, do you bring in the son? I don't think they do. But like I was just, whenever there's a coaching opening, I'm always curious of what the Athletic or Sporting News or, they all come up with their lists, and I've seen Shane Beamer's name on a couple. Hugh Freeze is on there. Bill O'Brien is on there.
I would be honestly really surprised if they went to Shane Beamer.
I would too. Because if
he was tearing it up, that'd be one thing.
But also, you could. It's okay to move on. Like it's okay to not have any connections to the past too. So
although I didn't paint that picture.
No, you didn't. You're trying to go way back to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what their mindset is. I don't know what they're looking for.
Billy O is interesting. Does Nicky help him get a head coaching job?
Yeah.
Billy O is interesting.
Yeah, because I think that this whole OC thing is it's gonna go bye-bye. I think. It just doesn't feel like he's gonna be looking for Bill O'Brien to be back for year 2. I don't think.
But I mean, you got Billy Napier, Jamie Chadwell, Bill Clark, Tony Elliott, Hugh Freeze's name is on the Sporting News list. I mean, I feel like Tony Elliott's name's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How much is the stock and Will Venables? How much is their stock dropped though after this year?
I would say Hugh Freeze definitely is going to be in the mix, I would think. Chadwell, I think. I don't know.
Napier?
I don't know what they're – yeah. I would think. It's an interesting
Bill Clark's
job.
an interesting name too.
Yeah.
At UAB.
Yep. I don't know how UAB has been able to keep him. I really don't.
Well, I don't know how – I mean, Napier and Chadwell have – I mean, their name's been floated out there for a couple of years now.
Yeah. We can ask Mitch Light in the final hour where he thinks they're going with this. But Justin Fuente is out. His first season went 10-4. Second season went 9-4. Third season 6-7. Fourth season 8-5. Last year went 5-6, and this year is 5-5. So it looks like another 6-6 Virginia Tech. And as I just gave you Frank Beamer's resume, that was something you hardly ever saw at Virginia Tech. So I don't think they believe really in those type of seasons. I mean, if you really look, it's pretty incredible the body of work Beamer had. Once he got the program cranking in 93, 9 wins. It's like every year was 9, 10, or 11 wins, every year. Until the even the very end were back-to-back 7-6 seasons, which by his standards were incredibly low. Right? 7-6. I don't think he ever had a losing season. His first 2 seasons were losing seasons. No, that's not true. His first several seasons were losing seasons. Obviously, the program probably needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
But 93, once they broke through 9 wins, it was basically that's what it looked like the rest of the way, for the most part.
It's all about building the culture, building the program.
Yep, pretty much. All right, we'll come back on the other side. We'll see where they go. We've got David Poyle coming up at 11:15 today, our weekly chat with him up in Toronto as the Predators get ready to keep this thing rolling down the tracks with the Leafs tonight. At high noon, Tim Hasselback, so we'll get into all NFL stuff with him. Are we going up to Toronto next, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I believe that's the plan.
Okay, I think they're headed over to the rink right now. I think we'll check in with Willie and find out what it looks like for morning skate. We'll do that on the other side as you listen to Darren Donick and Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Willie here. Time to tell you about Lee Company on this back-to-back road trip, Dallas-St. Louis. 2 big rivals in the Central Division for the Predators. Lee Company, big sponsor of the Nashville Predators. They have been a big supporter for a long, long time. They support our radio coverage here on 102.5 The Game. Darren McFarland, Hal Gill, and, of course, the great Pete Weber. Lee Company also has a lot of services for you. Keep in mind the home maintenance plan, that annual checkup. Each year, they'll check your plumbing, your electric, and, of course, your heating and cooling. Heating is top of mind right now. Is your heating unit running properly and efficiently? If it's not, give the folks at Lee Company a call, 615-567-1000, or go to leecompany.com. Make that online appointment. They'll come out. They'll get things running properly. You pay that small monthly fee, but in exchange for that, you get the discounts if and when the repairs need to be done. And if you're a homeowner like me, you know over time there are going to be some repairs that have to be needed. Find the small problems before they become the big problems. Lee Company and the home maintenance plan. 615-567-1000. Lee Company, proud sponsor, Nashville Predators.
Get ready for 3 Dog Night. Live in concert November 24th at Ryman Auditorium, celebrating over 50 years of 3 Dog Night. See the band that had 21 consecutive top 40 hits. Sing along to all the hits you know and love. Tickets are on sale now at Ryman.com. Sponsored by PNC Bank, proud partner of Ryman Auditorium.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old? You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or invigoratehealthtn.com.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for 60, 70, 100 grand or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about. Or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Progressive Motorcycle presents
Road wisdom from the Motor.
Half man, half motorcycle. To find your balance, keep riding. And if you stop, put your feet down so you don't fall. Progressive Motorcycle also presents Roadside Assistance. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wednesday night.
Pippen, who goes all the way in, sticks it home.
Scottie Pippen Jr. and the Vanderbilt Commodores have an early season test against the VCU Rams. Coverage begins at 6:30 on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Paul Feinbaum, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Back here on Darren Donica Chase here on this Tuesday morning. Our show is presented by Creation CBD. Creation CBD products curated for life. Hey, you may want to head over to thegamenashville.com/deals. Check out Nashville's best deals. The deal this week is a $30 gift card for only $15 to Brooklyn Bowl. If you feel like snacking, they've got hummus, fried pickles, rock and roll fries, and more. Roll on over to Brooklyn Bowl for bowling starting at 5 p.m. Get your deal now at thegamenashville.com/deals. Let's head up to Toronto where the Predators are. They'll take on the Leafs tonight. 6 o'clock puck drop pregame at 5 o'clock. Willie Donick is standing by. And with that being said, I hope he's sitting down. Are you sitting down?
I am sitting down.
Good.
In the Scotiabank
I know what you're about to say.
Because the news, I don't know how you feel, but here goes. Noah Syndergaard has inked a 1-year deal worth $21 million with
the Angels.
The Los Angeles Angels. He is no longer a member of your beloved Mets. In all seriousness,
1-year deal. Wow.
What is he today? I mean, I feel like the last time I saw him pitch, he had short hair. I mean, what is he?
Well, I feel like, his nickname was Thor. I think he's like drunk Thor in one of the Avengers movies. When Thor got fat and out of shape and just drank all the time. Is he that now? Is that what he is?
I'd be curious to know what the Mets offered.
I'm glad Elijah got that.
He had the bad Tommy John surgery, that took forever to heal from. So he basically missed the last 2 years. He hasn't pitched at all. So like at all.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Inning,
like, what is
at the end of the season?
Yeah.
So it kind of stinks for the Mets. They do all the rehab. They put all the money into making him better, and then he bolts on a one-year deal. Like, why not send a one-year deal with the Mets? And if you want to become a free agent and, bet on yourself for 1 year, I get that. But you're going to go to the Angels? I don't get that. But I don't know what the Mets offered. So maybe the Angels just blew him away.
Well,
I
he's
have
upset.
no idea what the Mets are up to right now.
We have our answer now. He's upset.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we have no idea what the Mets are doing anyway. They've been trying to hire a GM. They still don't have a manager. It's been a crazy offseason. It's not crazy, just nothing. They can't get anywhere to do anything.
Okay. There's only one baseball signing that I care about, and it hadn't happened yet. So,
yeah. Noah Syndergaard, by the way, an original Toronto Blue Jay. So I'll bring it back to Toronto, where I am now. Traded to the Mets along with Travis d'Arnaud for, you remember?
Joe Carter.
Nope. R.A. Dickey.
Pat
after he won the Cy Young.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
R.A. Dickey won the Cy Young, and his stock was high. They had a disagreement on the next contract, and so they made the deal. And the Blue Jays signed him to a long-term deal.
Interesting. What's the weather like up there?
Chilly. It's nice, though. Beautiful day. Blue sky. It's probably at 40 degrees. Getting down into the 30s at night. It's awesome.
A little snow like Lambeau Field on Sunday, maybe? A little sprinkle of snow?
It looked like on the forecast there was a chance for snow, but I don't think we got any last night. Today, it is blue sky all the way.
All right.
Beautiful day for baseball.
I know exactly where you are. I know exactly where that arena is positioned in downtown Toronto. So good news for the Predators. Did I see this, that Cousins and Carrier both out on the ice in morning skate?
Yes, that is a good sign. So that will create an interesting situation because the guys that have filled in for Carrier have done a really nice job. And I even see Mark Borowiecki on the ice. So they're going to have a decision to make because Phil Myers played very, very well. Borowiecki is back in there after being hurt. So they've got 7 good choices for 6 spots. We know who some of those guys are going to be. And then Cousins, too. Does he get back in there? That'll be a question that'll be answered here soon enough. They haven't put the line combinations out yet. They're still doing the basic drills so far.
I didn't get a chance to talk with you guys about this. This move happened while I was away. Can't say that I was surprised, but I guess my question is, why now? What was the tipping point for Rocco Grimaldi being released, passing through waivers, and sent to Milwaukee?
You know what? I think it's a further commitment to size. And Michael McCarron, who is a guy that has not really found any traction in the last couple of years since he's been with the organization, he played a big role on that outstanding Milwaukee team from a couple years ago. They wanted to bring him up. They also have a guy named Cole Smith who's getting older. He's developed a lot as well. So he's another guy that plays the style that fits well with the way John Hines wants to play. And so I think it was a numbers game. And I think Rocco Grimaldi, honestly, was very frustrated, rightfully so. He just couldn't find the role that was a better choice rather than what they've gone with here. And so far, McCarron has played by far his best hockey. He's played 3, in my opinion, outstanding games. If you look at his analytics, really good things are happening when he's on the ice. He's big, he's strong, and he fits with the mold of this team now, which is, they got a little bit of toughness and intimidation going for it, which has not been the case in the past several years, but that's been building the last 2 years with the herd, et cetera.
I know when we've talked about it in the past, I've kind of said it feels like Rocco's turned into kind of the square peg on this roster, at least with John Hines at the helm. And you've brought up the point, well, with all this size, he could be a nice, option where, all the other smaller guys have disappeared off this roster. So maybe he's kind of the anomaly guy, right? That he's, it's not a roster littered with players like that, but, he could be kind of the offset to that. What do you think What do you think changed? And so does that mean that you were surprised by this move?
I wasn't totally surprised. And I thought Rocco had played okay when he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, like I told you, they like these big guys, and they wanted more of it. They also, I think the emergence of Tommy Novak, who gives them a little bit more skill as a change of pace, that's a guy I had not accounted for when they were putting the roster together in training camp, when we were kind of talking about Rocco as being the speed change of pace. You know, Novak's not a blazer, but he plays fast. He's a good distributor. He's got some skill. They put him on the power play. So like I said, it was a numbers game, and they put him in Milwaukee. He had to clear waivers, so anybody could have had him. And this is where Rocco and the contract he earned, the 2-year, $2 million per year deal, probably ended up hurting him some.
Yeah.
Because at $2 million a year, he's not as attractive on the waiver wire as if he was making more like $1 million a year.
Yep.
And so that's why, unfortunately, he's down in Milwaukee. And that happens to some guys who make pretty decent money, who aren't clear-cut guys who can help your team. I was a little bit surprised. I thought somebody like an Arizona, somebody who could use a little zip, a little punch, could absolutely use Rocco. But nobody bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I would agree with you on that. I do think this was a case where he got paid, but maybe that contract probably hurt him on finding a new home. So what are the Predators in for with this Leafs team? It kind of feels like the Edmonton game when they went on the road and had to play the Oilers. Right? We know about Toronto's firepower, right? Like, you have to be aware of just certain guys on the ice because you know the Leafs can put the puck in the back of the net. But when you look at this Toronto team, what do you see?
Well, it is somewhat similar to Edmonton, but rather than two juggernauts, and by the way, if you look at the points that Draisaitl and McDavid continue to put up, it's unbelievable. Especially Draisaitl.
I know, it's crazy.
It's sick.
It's out of control. Nobody can stop those guys. But Toronto's got a similar situation, but they have the big investment in the four guys, right? They have Marner and Matthews, and then they have Nylander and Tavares. And the good news is for them, kind of like Draisaitl and McDavid, those guys are carrying the load. Those are their top four scorers. So after a bit of a slow start, and remember they got hammered after they lost in the first round to the Canadiens last year. Everybody's moaning and groaning. You got to break it up. What are you doing? Can these guys ever win? They hung in there with these guys, and they got into a slow start this year. And there were a lot of fans saying, "Hey, I told you they should break up the team." And the next thing you know, they've ripped off. I don't know what they've got. I think they're 9-1 in the last 10, something like that. They're playing really, really well, really well. So these are two teams that are functioning at a high level at this point. So this is going to be a tough matchup.
Willie Donick is with us from Toronto. What is Jason Spezza at this point in his career? He's got 6 points in 16 games. Yeah, he is old, but mean, it still seems like there's some production there.
Well, when you have the big investment in the four guys up front, it doesn't leave you a whole lot of money for the other spots. So you got to have veteran players who make very little money, and that's kind of what Spezza and our good buddy Wayne Simmons, another guy that was a former Predator, same situation, right? They have those two guys on the fourth line, veterans that know how to play. They're not what they used to be, but they don't make a lot of money. They don't take a lot of salary cap up, and so they fill in those roles, and they're doing a decent job. They don't play a lot of minutes, but, you know, they're trusted veterans you can put out there.
Against Arizona, Ellie Tolvanen had a couple of assists. He had the one really good chance that I thought he was going to bury. But when you watch him right now, what do you see?
Well, I think Mace and I were talking about this on the broadcast. The fact that he had 2 assists the other day has got to help his confidence. Like when you come to the arena and you pick up the stat sheet and you don't have any numbers, it's like I was telling you the other day, Chase, when Joe Dubin was asking me about what it was like in Medicine Hat, I was like, when they had put your name on the scoreboard and you're hitting 135 and everybody on there sees it, everybody knows, you're aware of it. It hurts your confidence. So Ellie Tolvanen, when he had 1 goal and no assists for about 10 straight games, it probably wasn't doing much for his confidence, even though, as we said many, many times, he's getting the most shots per 60 minutes of anybody on the team. So sooner or later, he's going to have a puck start going in, and I think he's going to get hot. But the fact that he's gotten a few assists here recently, I think it makes the numbers look better. So now, to me, he's just the one breakout game away from sort of getting back on course. Luke Cunnin, I think, is in that.
That's who I was going to ask about next, is Luke Cunnin.
Yeah, starting to come around. I think both of those guys would be in that category, starting to find their game, and I think it's a good sign because you're still looking at a team playing without Philip Forsberg, and they're being carried by Granlund, Duchesne, and Yossi right now, but you need other guys eventually to pick up the slack when those guys cool off.
Have you been pleased with what you've seen out of Tomasino in 13 games?
You know, he's a little bit what I expected. And this is interesting. He's from around here. He's going to have a lot of family here. This will be an interesting game for him because he'll be on the spotlight. A lot of media, I'm sure, will come up and start asking him all kinds of stuff. He's making big plays. He's making mistakes. And that's exactly what you would think for a 20-year-old. But I think they're going to keep throwing him out there. He keeps earning the right. He's done enough to keep being put back in there. Because the way this team is constructed, you need that guy who can create something out of nothing every now and then, as long as he continues to get better in the other areas of his game. And I think the more he plays, the better he's going to get. Long term, I think he's going to be an outstanding player for this team.
So something that I know is way too early to talk about, but Ryan and I were discussing it on Preds Insiders last night. Yossi for Norris and Saros for Vezina, and the way they're playing right now, obviously tonight they'll be spotlighted, with the Toronto media there and the Canadian media. So how big could that be for them getting noticed more on a national level, playing in front of the Canadian media tonight?
I think it's a really good point that you're making. These are the kind of games you have extra eyes watching, extra voters watching that don't normally watch the Predators. There's no question about it. People don't watch the Predators up here nearly as much as they watch the Canadian teams. On the Vezina thing, you've got Jussi Saros, and you've also got this guy, Jack Campbell, who has come on like a house on fire towards the end of last year, and he's picked up right where he left off. They might be two of the 5 best goalies in the league right now. There's some pretty amazing numbers right now if you look at goalie stats, but these are 2 of them. So I think that's something that will be a big storyline tonight, Jack Campbell and Jussi Saros. But Roman Josi, he's arrived, right? Everybody knows that they know who he is. And now he's got the numbers to go with it, so there's no question he's early on going to be in that discussion.
No doubt. Wanted to pass this along, that Pete, not on the trip tonight. The Preds putting this out, that Pete's going to miss tonight's game. He's been feeling under the weather, not COVID-related. And the plan is for him to be there back with Hal on Saturday. But Rick Peckham, longtime broadcaster with Tampa Bay, is going to fill in for Pete on the radio side tonight.
Yes, Rick Peckham is an outstanding broadcaster. In fact, he is a Hall of Famer, and that's why he's here. And that worked out very conveniently that he was up here to receive basically the Broadcasters Award in the wing of the Hall of Fame. And so it worked out that he could come in and do the game tonight and pinch hit for Pete. He's a great guy, a great announcer. Was the announcer for the Lightning for all those years and did an outstanding job. And, of course, as you know, in the front office, you got Bill Wickett, Sean Henry, Jerry Helper, guys who have ties to Tampa. So it was an easy phone call to make. And, first and foremost, we wish Pete well. He's been battling. We saw on the last road trip him come down with something, and he is fighting to get through it, and he did. He got through the rest of the road trip, got through the game on Saturday, but just a little bit of rest. I know he does not like to sit out games one bit. If you go back through his years, and he's been doing it for a long time, he almost never misses a game. I mean, almost never. So get well, Pete, and we'll see you up here in Montreal on Saturday. Very special hotel that we'll be staying in, as Pete knows.
There's no way he's missing
I'm glad he's getting that.
No way he's missing that.
That would be motivation. If he needed any, that would be extra motivation to get up to Montreal.
If you could, when you get there, take a picture and send it to him. He'll be there. There's no way he's missing that. Please tell me Toronto is unaware of Peter Mrazek's record against the Predators. It's going to be Campbell tonight, right?
Oh, it's absolutely Campbell because Mrazek is hurt. That's a big
good.
part of the storyline.
Okay,
now,
good.
So how about this for goalie musical chairs? Mrazek playing with Carolina last year. Carolina has a really good team, as we all remember. They decide to not re-sign any of their goalies. They had 3 of them.
Yep.
They all go into the free agency. Up here, Frederick Anderson, who was a Maple Leaf for a long time, they were dissatisfied with his performance in the playoffs. They let him go. So where do they go? Anderson goes to Carolina. He's right in there in the early Vezina discussion. He's been lights out for Carolina. The Maple Leafs pick up Mrazek. He's been hurt the entire time he's been here. He's played, I think, 1 period or something like that.
Well, no, I think he's played a couple games, hasn't he?
Yeah, not very much, though. He's had 2 separate groin issues.
Okay.
So Jack Campbell has come in and just absolutely been lights out. So it's paved the way for maybe the next star. And Jack Campbell's interesting because he's 29 years old. So he is a late bloomer. He hadn't really done anything in his career until the end of last year, sort of come out of nowhere, and now he's playing as well as anybody.
News coming out of where you are. The Blue Jays have reached an agreement with pitcher Jose Berrios. 7-year, $131 million deal. Physical pending.
They signed him, they traded for him last year from the Twins. He's a talented player, and they gave up quite a bit to get him. So that doesn't surprise me that they made the investment. We know that the Blue Jays can hit, right? They got all those young players, the sons of major leaguers, Guerrero, Biggio, Bichette. They can hammer the ball, but they needed some pitchers, and so that's a guy that they're going to count on.
Yep.
What do you guys think Freddie's going to get from the Braves?
Not what I'm seeing out there. Not what I'm seeing out there, I don't think, personally. I was a little surprised at what he's turned down.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I mean, I've seen 7 years, 189. I don't know about that, but
it'll get done.
I hope so.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
he's not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, the Braves have proven they're not afraid. I mean, they're not afraid to. They're not going to just give in and give whatever they want. I mean, those days are gone. Back when they had, the Uptons and just paying silly money for people.
Yeah, but this is different. This is Freddie Freeman.
I understand. But they've offered him
I don't know what they'll end up signing him for, but it will get done. There's no way. He doesn't want to leave, and they cannot lose him. That's the one guy they've got to keep.
Yep, agreed. But somebody's going to have to concede somewhere, or both.
Yes, you're right.
All right, good stuff. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Willie Donick up in Toronto. Predators and Leafs tonight, 6 o'clock puck drop pregame at 5 o'clock. Everything heard right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Of course, Willie will have your call on Bally Sports at 6 o'clock. Their pregame starting on television on the TV side at 5:30. We'll come back, wrap up the first hour next.
Tonight,
Saros able to cover it up. Johansson tips it in. Back to Duchesne. He scores.
the Nashville Predators head back on the road to face Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pre-game at 5, face-off at 6 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Looking at temperatures warming into the upper 60s and lower 70s this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. Another warm day on Wednesday before storms return on Thursday.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical, regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
This game's gonna be good.
Definitely.
Loser buys?
Sure.
Hey, 2 Dos Equis on this guy.
The game hasn't even started.
And yet, somehow it's already over.
Okay.
A dose of certainty. Brought to you by Dos Equis, proud sponsor of college football. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2021. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Robbie Stanley.
Maybe it doesn't hurt their bottom line this year. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen on that front.
Joe Rexrode.
5 guys who are on the roster are not going to be on the roster.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
David Boyle coming up at 11:15. It's weekly chat with us. Looking forward to that. By the way, you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Back here on the DDC. The phone screener says Mark in Toronto. Is that right?
That's what I see.
Okay, well, let's find out what Mark wants to talk about in Toronto.
Well, good morning, fellas. How's everybody doing today?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Well, it's code red weather up here in north of Toronto. I woke up to snow flurries with a light dusting, so it's a great day for a hockey game.
Oh, okay. So there was a little dusting of some snow. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. That gets us in the mood up here, so it's going to be fine. But it's code red weather, too, because we're going to be lighting the lamps up against the Leafs tonight. I'm telling you, we're going to be coming back from years past. I'm thinking a big win, 7-3. We're going to chase Soupy out of that net. He's like a sieve, so he's gone. Jeanette's going to have a big game. Polovin's going to have a big game. And then, of course, the big fellas with Duchesne and Johansson and Yossi back there clapping. It's going to be awesome.
You going?
Unfortunately, some of us got to work. Unless Willie wants to give up his seat, listen, we can make something happen. It's not a bad day. Not a bad day to help out a Fred's fan.
I think he's got to be in his seat.
Yeah.
I think that's.
He's usually pretty busy. He's kind of important.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give them that. So you know what? There's going to be lots of Preds Nation up there. You'll see the blue and gold. It'll be fine. These Leaf fans up here, like all the fellas I work with and the Leaf fans, they flip-flop more like when we throw a catfish on the ice. They don't know what they want. They're going to the Cup. They're not going to the Cup. Trade them all. Sign them all. Bench them. Don't bench them. I love it. It's like watching the Real Housewives up here. There's so much drama.
Mark, thanks for calling in. Enjoy the game tonight.
Listen, it's going to be great. I'm going to be down your way around Christmas. We'll bring some smoked meat. I'm telling you, if you get hold of Willie, tell him to go to the Loose Moose for a little suds before with mace. Bag chucking in full effect. It'll be great, fellas.
All right.
We'll do
Good
it.
stuff, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Come by and say hello when you come to town in December. In all seriousness, these two teams are blazing hot, as we were talking about. Preds are 8-1-1 in their last 10. Toronto, 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get any hotter than these two teams.
This is a measuring stick game. I mean, you want to see where you're at. And, one thing that Ryan and I talked about on Preds Insiders was, some of the fan base is still a little hesitant, which I get. I totally get. It's still early in the season, but my response was, well, let's see what they look like against a team like Toronto, because I think Toronto is a really good team. I mean, the way they're playing and with the firepower that they have, this is what you want to see, how you can match up against them. So and like I brought up with Willie, I mean, if you're thinking along the lines of getting notoriety, if you're UC Saros or Roman Josi, and I know they don't care personally, but from a fan's point of view, this is a great opportunity for that. And I would expect that those two will continue to play at the level that they've been playing at. I mean, Josi has just been just sick, like just how he's played, like just that setup to Duchesne the other night. I know you were gone. That was just, I'm like, I don't know how he does that. And I made the joke to Hal in post game. I was going to ask him something about playing defense. It's like, you played the position, and he goes, I didn't play that position. I wasn't even close to that position that Josi plays. He's just unreal. So, but I'm looking forward to this one tonight. I think this is going to be a true test. Let's see how they match up, and then kind of go from there.
Wayne on Twitter says, get well soon, Pete Weber Sports. He tweets this at us. I heard he is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Hope he can be back on Saturday.
Well, I'm just glad he's going to get to be in Montreal.
I don't know if that's officially been put out there, upper body, lower body. I think Wayne may be onto something. But hopefully Pete can get back to Montreal. Because there is no game on Thursday against Ottawa.
No,
Senators game has been postponed.
Yeah, see, you missed. There was a point in the game Saturday. Pete had to step away for a second, so Hal took over.
No, I didn't miss anything. That started on Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. So Hal had to do some play-by-play Wednesday?
No, Hal had to start post-game.
Oh, gotcha. Well, he actually had to do some play-by-play.
I literally was with Elijah. I was like, where's Pete?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, Hal did some play-by-play on Thursday and then again on Saturday, and actually got his first goal call on Saturday. It was the Josi goal, the power play goal. Hal got to call that, so that was a special moment in time.
He did a great job.
He did
a fantastic job.
He did. So proud of him. Good job, Skillsy.
Well, I mean, it means he's been paying attention. He's been working alongside the best.
And that's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
He's heard a lot of goals scored from Pete Weber, so he just took the reins and ran with it like a pro.
Joey from Gallatin says the Preds winning tonight would cap off a great 29th birthday. Go Preds. I've got Dutchie and Granny with a goal. Well, happy birthday, Joey.
By the way, our pick 6 question was loaded with points. Was it not?
Yeah.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
And I think I had the right answer. It was B, was it not?
Yes.
Granlund and Josi?
Yes. I believe that is correct.
Because
Josi had 4 points.
Johansson were A.
Right. Which they had. They each had. Well, no, one had a goal. Yeah, no, so it's B. I have my pad is in the office. I don't have it with me.
Yeah, it was A was Granlund Yossi. B was Duchesne Johansson. So sorry.
I had B.
A. You took B?
Yeah.
I took A. You could not top shelf that.
Nope.
More points. What do most people go with? That was a tough one.
It was pretty mixed.
Was it?
Yeah, it was pretty mixed. So I think you were the only one that said no to the upset question. Between us.
Yep. Jets, Jags, Lions.
Which the Lions damn ties.
Yep.
They didn't lose.
I took the Chiefs. They also didn't win.
Yep. Tie does not count.
Who had more yards from scrimmage? It was Foreman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I missed that one.
You and I had the same answer.
Yeah.
I think Willie had McNichols.
I think I missed on the sacks, too. I said under. It was definitely not the under. They had that before halftime. Of course, they didn't get any more. In fact, we'll come back. We'll talk about Monday night last night. How about that?
Yeah, I want to get into Manningcast a little bit.
Rams got shelled. It's now 2 weeks in a row on Sunday night and Monday Night Football. So 2 weeks in a row on a national stage, and boy, they have not looked good. Pretty interesting, but we'll come back and discuss that to start the second hour of the program. Plus, David Poyle will check in as well as you listen to Darren, Donick, and Chase. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
No, you blew it. That's what happened. It didn't slip away. You blew it.
The voice of the fan.
The officials had let that game get out of control before anything got thrown.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
These are battles. These are grinds. We don't panic. We don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3, 9.
This is the drive to the playoffs. Brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Tennessee Titans are 8-2 and sit atop of the AFC, despite all of the injuries they've suffered so far this season. According to head coach Mike Vrabel, this type of success is a result of the culture that they've built in that program over time.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, though, Emily, is not just playing football, right? Everybody loves to play football. It's all the other stuff that goes along with it that sometimes is hard. Most of the time is hard. Practicing, preparing, not feeling great. The whole process of the week that leads up to it, or training camp, or the off season, that's all the stuff that that you don't really want to love, but you have to love it because you want to make sure that you're ready to go for the season and for your team. And that's important when we bring guys in. I think that the more people that we have in our locker room and around our building that have those types of attitudes, that when somebody does come in from somewhere else, that they quickly realize how we do things, and then we hope that they adapt quickly.
I'm Elijah Campbell, and this is your Drive to the Playoffs update here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
More than 80% of hospitals and other healthcare employers are now looking to hire nurses holding a bachelor's degree. That's why Aspen University's 3-year accelerated and accredited BSN pre-licensure program is now enrolling with no wait list. Tuition and fees are less than $50,000 and transfer credits are accepted. Want to learn more? Just text STEP to 323232 right now. Most courses are online and you'll complete your clinicals within our collaborative network of healthcare providers. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. Text STEP
to 323232 right now. All clinical simulations and labs are delivered in person while following CDC guidelines for social distancing and masks. If you've thought about becoming a registered nurse, the time is now. Text STEP to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word STEP to 323232 right now. Text STEP to 323232. Total cost of the degree program will vary depending on the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Employment statistics are from the AACN Research Brief, published in December 2020. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Second hour, Darren, Donick, and Chase here on ESPN 102.5 The Game on this Tuesday. Gonna be nice today. Actually warm today and tomorrow. 70s. Hello.
Hi.
Then it's gonna get cold again. But we'll take it while we can get it. I think I saw yesterday 73 tomorrow.
I like that.
I may go swimming.
I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I like it.
Hot tub weather at least.
Yeah, well, you just had that.
I did.
I need it today.
I miss a hot tub.
I need it today. I told Elijah this. I walked in this morning. I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did it, but my neck is killing me. Like, I can barely move, and this is like an in-sleep injury. And just like I woke up this morning and I was
worst.
Like, what did I do?
It's the worst, man.
Yeah.
Put some Croatian CBD on it.
Yeah, I need something. I need a massage is what I need.
Yeah.
That would help. But
get somebody to rub it out.
That's yeah.
That'll help.
It will. It may be what I need.
It's a cure-all.
Yep. Thank you.
Let's give away.
Let's do something else.
For the love of God.
Let's see who's listening.
Oh, we're about to find out.
Let's give away.
I hate you.
3 Dog Night at the Ryman Auditorium. That'll be Wednesday, November 24th. That is in 8 days. November 24th, 3 Dog Night at the Ryman Auditorium. Caller 5-615-737-1025. That's our phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai.com. Let's find out who's listening right now. Be caller 5, and you'll go see that show at the Ryman in 8 days. Okay, last night, Manningcast. Rams, 49ers. Rams got spanked again.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers took it to them. And it's going to be interesting when we do our top 10. Let's see, I had the Rams 5. You had the Rams 7. Willie had the Rams 4. So, obviously, they're going to take a tumble because that was before the Titans game. And so they're going to move down everybody's list. The question is, what's going on with them? Obviously, we know the news coming out Friday. Robert Woods done for the season. I think that's going to be a huge blow.
Yeah. Well, because Beckham is not going to replace that. So.
No, not Robert Woods, no.
No, that is – I think that is more of a significant loss than people might give it credit for.
Unless you believe all the people out there that think he's still an elite number 1 receiver. I do not.
No, I don't. I don't know why they did it. I think that's a dangerous move for that locker room.
It is interesting, but I will say this. The Rams are not afraid to bring on names, are they?
Mm-mm.
Not afraid at all.
Von Miller, I like that move. But Odell, not so much.
So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Did I see this? I didn't look at the schedule, but I think they said it last night. Is the Rams' next game Green Bay?
I believe that is correct.
Is that right? Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have the bye, and then they have.
Oh, so they have a bye.
They're on the bye, and then they have Packers at Lambeau.
Ooh, wow.
Then the Jags. Then they have the Cardinals, Seahawks, Vikings, Ravens.
49ers
next
again.
six.
Yeah, their schedule. They got one bunny in there. The Jags.
Yep.
And who knows? The Jags keep getting better, but they're still a bunny.
And who knows what the Seahawks are at this point. But, I mean, it's a division game, so I'm not going to call that a bunny.
No, right.
The 49ers, is last night just – it was a good night, or are they getting stuff figured out? Because –
well, they got a lot of important bodies out.
Yeah.
Maybe,
the fact that Kittle's back is huge.
And I was going to say, getting some of them back helped, but, man. Well, so what did you think? You had some thoughts on the Manning cast. What did you think?
I liked it. Phil Mickelson was my favorite part because
I
loved that Phil was asking them questions like why do you use this terminology, or like what does this mean? Peyton telling the story of having I guess for changing something that he had Tiger and he had Phil and stuff like that. But I just thought that was fascinating. And then when he called Eli's swing cute. Like, I lost it. That was hilarious. Like, it's cute.
I thought Phil was definitely their best guest. I thought Draymond Green was, I don't know.
He was okay.
It was okay.
But he was Draymond. So,
yeah.
I mean, he was okay. Rivers was about what – I didn't think Rivers was bad, but he was about what I thought he would be.
Yeah.
Al was – the thing with Al, I loved Al.
I thought it was kind of a little – I don't know, out of sorts too, a little bit.
Well, they got kind of screwed up because there wasn't a stoppage, and so the first quarter flew by.
It wasn't. Peyton was like fastest first quarter in Monday Night Football history.
Yeah,
it was like 7:22. I think that's right. I think when I looked at the clock, no, that can't be right because they kicked off at 7:15.
Yeah, I mean,
no, that can't.
Flew by.
Oh, maybe it was 7:32 or something, and it was 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a very long first possession, but I thought Al was, it was kind of, he was trying to be Cosell, which was kind of funny, and but I mean they did acknowledge and make a big deal that this was the first time in 16 years that Al Michaels had been on Monday Night Football. So but I thought he was okay, he was fine. There was a little bit of. Which I kind of think is neat when you get somebody like Peyton Manning to be a little starstruck. But it's like, I loved it when you called my games and just the respect there. So, I think that's kind of fun. But Phil was definitely my favorite one. He was definitely the best guest.
I would agree. Even I thought the Rivers was a little – Rivers tried to, interact. I think it's interesting because you can tell Peyton – wants to try to stay with the game too, right? He doesn't want to get into long conversations and ignore the game. So he tries to, something good is said, but then he will, go to the game. So it becomes a little choppy at times because there's no flow. They have to keep bouncing from conversation to the game.
Yeah. That's where So, and the last night was a prime example of kind of what I've thought about this. I think they have too many guests. I don't think they need one per quarter. I think if you had two per the whole game,
one per half,
that's fine because of what you just said. Because Peyton's trying to, because that's what I'm watching. Like, I want to hear Peyton and Eli break down the game.
Yeah.
And why why they're doing a certain thing.
I love them questioning things.
Oh, I love it too. And I love how Peyton gets mad. Like when they do something that he doesn't agree with, like he legit gets he gets kind of ticked off.
When like receivers drop the ball.
Oh yeah, and kickers. I mean, you can tell he gets mad at kickers, but he questioned a couple of throws that Stafford made. Like, why is he doing that? Like, why is he making that throw, or why didn't he check down here or change it? But that's why I want to watch. I think the guests are cool, especially if you have somebody like a Phil Mickelson or Tom Brady or Drew Brees, what have you.
It's pretty funny them showing the record of the current players whenever they come on the next game.
Yeah, the curse.
The Manning cast curse.
Oh, yeah. And he brought that, Eli, I think, referenced that to Draymond. Like, well, I hope you guys beat the Nets tomorrow so we can quit talking about this curse. So, but yeah, I mean, I still think it's awesome. Like, I watched it the whole game. Like, I don't watch the regular broadcast.
Yeah, me either.
So,
I do. I don't think you can. I know we've talked about this before. I just don't think you can really duplicate something like that because Peyton and Eli are so unique. I mean, you don't have a bunch of Peyton Mannings and Eli Mannings growing on trees out there that can keep everybody that interested. Because, like I said, they've done this before. I mean, this is not some new concept, but those people don't grab your attention like Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. They just don't.
Right.
I think they're brilliant at this. It's
and Peyton
really,
takes
really
over
good.
too.
He does.
But you expect that.
But Eli plays off of that, which makes it funny.
Yeah. Eli's got
Eli's got subtle jabs all the time.
His one-liners are fantastic. Like he's secretly funny. Like he does have a funny side.
Yep. Yep. No, I thought it was that was good, and they're going to get the Giants game. What was it? Bucks Giants next Monday night, which is good. Bucks coming off 2 straight losses, lost to Washington. How about the finish of Washington? Well, by the way, we'll have Tim Hasselbeck coming up at noon, so we'll get into all things NFL with him at noon. But how about the final drive of the game for the dagger when, the Bucks had cut it to 3 and Washington went on a 10.5-minute drive
to
basically finish off Tampa? How impressive was that? Tampa could not get off the field. They couldn't get the ball back to Tom Brady. It was unbelievable. It was that was a really impressive drive in the fourth quarter. So that'll be can the Bucks get things going, and then obviously to have the Giants. So I wonder who they'll have guest for that. That'll be interesting. I don't disagree with you. I think a guest, a half, would be good. But I also understand why. They were trying to protect them early on.
Yeah.
Maybe now that they, because they don't know how this is going to go. But I think now that they've got their feet underneath them and they understand what they're doing and, not that they didn't understand, but you know what I mean. Like now they understand the flow and they're constantly tweaking. These guys, especially Peyton, he wants to be a perfectionist on everything. I doubt they're going to do that this year, but if they do decide to do this again next year, I could definitely see them being a little bit lighter.
They've supposedly signed a 3-year deal.
Well, but I mean, I wonder if this is going to be – have they said the terms, like games?
I think it's like 7 to 10 or something.
I wonder if it's going to be increased. But I do wonder if they will maybe look into that, maybe just doing 1 per half.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Jeff Francis. Jeff was listening. It pays to listen. He was also Lucky Caller 5. Go enjoy that show in 8 days at the Ryman Auditorium. We'll come back. David Poyle will be calling us from Toronto. We'll talk to the GM next here on the DDC ESPN 102.5 The Game.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for $60, $70, $100,000 or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Joe Rexrode here for FanDuel Sportsbook, talking about the NFL season, which has given us a big one, Week 11, Arizona Seahawks. FanDuel's making it even bigger because it's giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. This means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. I like the fact that Russ is back, but I think I got to go with the Niners here, folks. All I know is you got to do it on the number one rated sportsbook app in America. Easy to use, safe and secure. Get your money in as little as 2 hours. Also, if you are a FanDuel Sportsbook user, you can get $50 when you refer a friend, and your friend will get $50 too. One of many reasons this is America's number one sportsbook. If you're new, sign up with promo code Joe102. Before the Cards take on the Seahawks, you can win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember, use promo code Joe102 so they know I sent you exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line. 800-889-9789.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Chris Brooks and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer with over 90 5-star Google ratings and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. While roofing is our business at E2, honor is our code. For roof repair, roof replacement, free inspections, or insurance claim assistance, visit e2roofingnashville.com.
Mom, haven't you heard that commercial where the guy says your ride is here?
I can't afford a new car, honey.
But Mom, he said he'll finance anyone on any car. This car is embarrassing.
Yeah, well, I don't trust car dealers.
Mom, Franklin Motors has been in business since 1987. Let's stop in for a test drive.
All right, wise guy, let's go.
Franklin Motors, the choice is clear. Franklin Motors,
your ride is here.
FranklinMotorsTN.com or come on by for a test drive.
Hey Nashville, this is Penny Hardaway, University of Memphis coach. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Predators in Toronto tonight to take on the Leafs. 6 o'clock, puck drop. Pregame for you at 5. Everything heard right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Darren McFarland, Chase McCabe alongside here on this Tuesday. Let's head up to Toronto, where the Predators general manager David Poile is standing by. The Preds are 8-1-1 in their last 10. This has been quite the success here, just 15 games in the season after a 1-4 start. David, what do you like about what you've seen in the last 10 games?
Darren, a lot of things I like. Right now, just our team is scratching and clawing and getting the victories. I mean, every game seems to be pretty close. A lot of one goal games. We've already had 4 games in overtime. We've won 3 of those 4. Timely goals, killing off some big penalties like we did the other night against Arizona on a 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about the power play this year, and our power play, I think, is 5th ranked in the league, and it's getting again these timely goals, and we have a lot of individuals that we've talked about many times in the past that are certainly having much better years this year than last year. And I guess in a capsule here, I think our best players are our best players this year, and they're kind of leading the way. Our 3 leading scorers are Yossi, Duchesne, and Granlund, and our 3 leading goal scorers are those guys, including Ryan Johansson. So, a lot of things are good right now, but we live and die every game. We're also playing the Leafs tonight, who got off to a slow start, and they've won 8 of their last 9, so this should be a good game tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You brought up the captain, Roman Josi. You've watched him his entire career, as have we, and you drafted him, so you're very familiar with what he brings to the table night in and night out. Is it possible that he's actually getting better? I don't even know. That seems crazy to say, but I feel like he's even taken his elite game to maybe even another level, if that's possible. What are you seeing right now out of Roman?
Yeah, I think he's playing as good as he's ever played, and he's one of the areas again we've talked about a lot is that a little bit worried about our offense, and he's creating lots of offense for us. He's rushing the puck. He's that fourth man up in the rush that gets those odd man rushes in our favor, and he's doing some great things, both 5-on-5 and on the power play. His shot has been great. I believe he's leading all defensemen in the league in scoring, so that should tell you that he is back on track, if you will, for being one of the best defensemen in the league. And certainly right now, I would say if you're voting for the Norris Trophy after this many games, I'd say Roman Josi's been the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You've talked about this with us, how you guys sit down with every player after every season and just talk about, moving forward and things to work on and what you liked, what you didn't like. Matt Duchene, obviously it didn't go the way he wanted it to go last year. It has really since he's been here, but this year, obviously, totally different. This is the guy that you signed and brought here. What's working? Why is it working so well for Matt Duchene 15 games in?
Well, you're right in terms of reviewing things from an individual perspective. We do that. I do that at the end of the year. There's conversations with the coach and coaches. There's conversations over the summer. I think training camp is a important time in terms of setting up expectations, goals, specific things that you're looking for from individual players. And I think that Matt is checking all the boxes for management and for coaches, and he's becoming a very, very valuable player for our team, and obviously playing as well as he's ever played. And that game was always there. Just for whatever reason, last couple of years have not been as productive for Matt, but he's doing a lot of really good things for us right now. And just like talking about Josi, the guy that's creating the most offense for us is Matt Duchene. He's getting chances every game. He's making plays, and it's really exciting to watch him play like this. And it's certainly one of the reasons why have played really well in the last couple of weeks, with our current record being 8-1-1 in the last 10 games.
We're speaking with Predators General Manager David Poile, who's up in Toronto with the team, Predators and Leafs, tonight. Last week you had to make a tough decision, and Rocco Grimaldi putting him on waivers. He passed through. He's been sent down to Milwaukee. Those decisions are never easy, so why did it come to that point last week where you guys decided to do what you did?
Not easy. You're correct. It's never good for players. I mean, we have to have extra players, so players have to sit out. Certain players have to sit out every game, but we certainly don't want it to be going for a long period of time. Rocco's in his last year of his contract. I talked to his agent many times about the situation. Obviously there was a disagreement as to whether he should play or not be playing, which I understand and I respect. And I think we, not mutually, but I think we sort of got to the point where we needed to find out whether Rocco would be taken. So we took a chance and put him on waivers. And unfortunately for Rocco and maybe for us somewhere down the line, he didn't get taken. And now he's in Milwaukee, where he's got to get down there and, help them win, because they're struggling a little bit because we've got a lot of their players up here. He's got to be productive to show people that he can do that, to give him a chance for us to bring him back up here, or for another team to be interested in him. So it's not a perfect situation at all, but I just hope that Rocco can do some really good things down there, so to give us a chance and a reason to call him back.
You getting some good news today? I noticed some players who've been out of the lineup, maybe out on the ice for morning skate, and Cousins and Carey, maybe getting some bodies, or at least close to getting some bodies back in the lineup, David?
I think so. As you know, we had our game canceled in Ottawa on Thursday, which is really unfortunate for this road trip. But what it does do is it gives us a couple more practice days, specifically for players like Cousins and Carey. And I would think, based on watching them this morning and having a discussion with Kevin Morley, our athletic trainer, that I think there's a decent chance that they might be ready to play in Montreal on Saturday. And if that's the case, then we've got a couple of decisions to make roster-wise again.
We're talking to David Poyle, Predators general manager. And, David, I had the opportunity in second intermission the other night to talk to Eeli Tolvanen, and he had 2 assists. He had a really good scoring chance. Those obviously have to be confidence builders for him. But, you know, I know that you all would like to see him score more, and that's what he does. He is a goal scorer and only has 1 on the season, and it came in the team's first game. So what have you seen out of Tolvanen through the first 15 or so? And more importantly, what have you seen maybe the last couple that show you that he's close?
The last couple of games have been good. He's gotten, put on the power play in a good position. Again, where he scored all of his goals in the power play last year, that I think the team and our patterns are trying to set him up, but it's being covered more. So I guess in one way you'd have to say it's a lot of respect for Tolby, because he's not being given the opportunity to get his shot off as much. So we got to come up with, and he has to come up with some other ways to be effective, whether it be on the power play or 5-on-5. Because as you said, at the end of the day, I think he's making progress, yes, but at the end of the day, we need him to produce, and we need the secondary scoring. We're getting the scoring from Granlund, Johansson, and Duchesne, as we've talked about. But we need some secondary scoring, and Tolby's got to chip in there. So it's progress, but again, I sort of get that feeling if he can get one, he can get a bunch, and he just has to kind of break through. Hopefully that'll happen soon for him and for us.
Well, and what is the balance of, especially with a young player like Tolvanen, and you put Tomasino, any of your young guys in this category of, you want to build their confidence, you want them to have that, have that available to them, but you also are trying to win and need production. So, what is kind of the balance of giving them enough time to develop that confidence and hope that the goals are going to come, but also know that they got to be productive?
Well, that is the $1 million question in terms of how you handle that. For example, you've got Tomasino that's been playing, I would mostly say, on the fourth line and getting limited minutes. Now he's been bumped up with Joey and Tanner Jeannot, arguably one of our top 2 lines. But in the third periods of the last couple of games he's been on that line, he's been actually bumped down, and Tolvanen has been bumped up to that position. Probably more of a defensive move by our coaching staff. That Tolvanen has a little bit more experience and a little bit more responsible. So, what you're thinking is exactly right. Is that with these young players, and Tomasino was our youngest player, there's some good moments during the game, and there's some other moments that there might be some little bit of lack of detail, or just missing an assignment, or things like that he's kind of learning on the fly. So it is a balance, and you just never know. I mean, hopefully he continues to play well and can contribute and produce, and the option is always there to send him down to Milwaukee if the pace gets too much, or we think he would benefit by playing more minutes in a different situation down there. But he's a good kid. He seems to be very coachable. Works hard in practice every day, and right now we're sticking with him.
UC Saros has obviously been tremendous for you, but first time to be able to ask you, now that you've seen David Reddick, your backup that you signed this summer, be able to play a game, what'd you think of his performance? It was a gritty one, but comes away with the win.
Yeah, it was a tough game on a back-to-back against a top team, St. Louis, and we did get the win. I thought overall he played really, really well under all the circumstances, and what I mean by that is that he hasn't played since training camp, and then he's had COVID, so he's missed almost two weeks. It was pretty tough situation for him to go in there. So Juice has got the net again tonight, but hopefully with the schedule picks up here that Rittich will get more opportunities. But all in all, I thought it was a good start for him, and he battled really hard against the top St. Louis team, and again the win is the most important thing. So we're happy with that.
Obviously, all games are important when it comes to points, like you just said, getting the win. But I think you'd agree, there's a difference in Arizona and Toronto and how those teams are constructed. So do you view games like tonight, when you're going up against one of the top teams in the East, one of the top teams in the league, is kind of a measuring stick game to see where you are at this point in the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's big market, a big hockey city, one of the original 6 franchises. There's always a lot of friends, family here, the players that we have from Ontario. There's a lot of media coverage of our team, so it's a different challenge. It's a different pressure, if you will, playing here and playing in Montreal. So, I refer to this a lot, is that you got to earn your stripes every day, kind of like the Army. So this is another test, tonight for the Preds. Like I said, we're really happy with how things have gone recently, but it's hard every night, and the guys have been playing right to the last whistle to get these victories, and oftentimes it goes beyond that. It goes into overtime. So I'm always, it's still early in the season. I'm very curious to see how we match up against Toronto, because I do believe on paper they certainly have one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, and they got some dynamite offense that we're going to have to control tonight.
No doubt about it. Should be a fun one. Enjoy the game. Thanks for the visit as always, David. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Have a good day. Thank you.
You do the same. David. That is Predators General Manager David Poile. He joins us every Tuesday at 11:15. Good stuff from him, as always. We'll come back on the other side. I've got some odds for you on the next Virginia Tech football coach. And something else I want to run by you that I saw that happened over the weekend that I'm just telling you, I'm going to go on and give out a free pick for next year. You're going to have to sit on. This is kind of a futures bet for next year that'll make you a lot of money.
You haven't given out a free pick in a while, so this is good. The people want this.
Oh, this is a free bet that's going to work, and it's a futures bet, but you're going to have to wait a bit. But when it happens, whoo, man, that's a lot of free money, depending on how frisky you get. I'm going to get really frisky next year. I'll tell you what I'm talking about on the other side as you listen to Darren Donica Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming off in the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and let me tell you about my friends at Curation CBD. If you're like me and have aches and pains all over your body and you've been searching for a solution, well, I've got it. It's Curation CBD. Curation means healing, and that right there says it all. Curation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here from Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sell, Curation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use for athletes and for pets, too. Order yours now at CurationCompany.com. Curation CBD, curated for life.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Jared Stillman.
This show, if you're a listener to it, I think is educated enough to know what a good general manager is.
And company.
At the end of the day, wins really are all that matters.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
If you would like to win a pair of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at Bridgestone Arena, but some of you just perked up. What? That's Friday, February 25th. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to the 102.5 The Game's YouTube page, and you'll be entered for a chance to see Dierks Bentley at Bridgestone Arena. Friday, February 25th. Once you subscribe, email us at promotions@cromwellmedia.com with your YouTube handle, and you'll be automatically entered. There'll be a winner chosen on Monday. That's Monday, November 22nd. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Our show is presented by Creation CBD. Creation CBD products curated for life. Darren McFarland and Chase McCabe with you. Good conversation there with David Poyle. We'll have Tim Hasselbeck coming up here at high noon. We've got the odds. Our buddy Alan Bell tweeting out from Sportsline. The odds on Virginia Tech's next football coach. The favorite is?
And I have not looked at these at all. Jimmy Chadwell.
Jimmy Chadwell is indeed the favorite at plus 400.
Okay.
Number 2?
Billy Napier.
Billy Napier, plus 500.
I just feel like that those two.
Yeah,
that's
we already
just
talked
where they're
about
going to
it,
be.
so yeah. But it's going to be interesting when we get up and down this list.
Well, and it's also the domino effect of if Franklin leaves for USC, Penn State's now open. So, what does that mean? Where does Virginia Tech fall in the pecking order once the dominoes start falling?
I've got a list of 11.
Is Florida going to be open?
Boy, I'll tell you what. I could not believe what I was watching. The Fighting Cortland Finnegans on Saturday. I mean, holy crap. Samford? They led for a lot of the game.
Yeah. They put up, what was it, 52?
50-something points on Florida.
Yeah. If they had lost that game, he's not getting – he's
all bets are off.
He's fired as soon as he walks off the field.
If they lose in Gainesville to Samford, I don't think he makes it. I don't know what they would have done. It would have been bad. But I know they were trailing for a lot of that game. Samford, not Stanford, but Samford. The Fighting Cortland Finnegans, a 7th-round pick by Floyd Reese and the Titans back in the day. So Jamie Chadwell is 1, Billy Napier is 2, Mike Elko is 3 at plus 600. He's the DC at A&M.
Yep, he's getting a lot of looks.
I think he was in the ACC, I believe, before A&M. He was at, I think, Wake Forest for several years as the DC. And then I think he spent a year at Notre Dame too. Isn't that who Clark Lee replaced?
You may be right. I think you're right.
I think that's who Clark Lee replaced, Mike Elko, when he was at. I think he was only at Notre Dame for a year, and then he went to Texas A&M.
Yeah. Is Hugh on that list?
Hugh is on that list. He is 9th on that list at plus 1,500.
Okay.
Keep guessing.
Billy O
is 7th, plus 1,200.
Okay.
Bill O'Brien.
Elliott from Clemson.
Well, what's interesting is they have
Tony Elliott.
Both Venables and Elliott at plus 800 together.
So they're tied.
Well, yeah, but yes, which is interesting.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, that's probably It's probably accurate that they have the same shot to go. I can go with that. All right, so how many more am I?
Well, it's Bulls and Elliott tied. So you need 4. You need 7, or 6, however you want. I guess 5.
Is Gary Patterson on that list?
Gary Patterson is not on that list.
Okay,
interesting guess.
Yeah. I just wonder. I wonder if his name is going to pop up in any
Shane
of these.
Beamer is on there. You brought that name up earlier. He's 10th at plus 1,800.
Bill Clark.
Not on the list.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Um,
you're not going to get that. I don't think you're going to.
I think I've hit all the major ones.
So you want to hear who's 4th? I think is very interesting.
Yes.
Dave Clawson.
Ooh.
They had a very nice win Saturday night against NC State.
That'd be a step up.
That's your ACC champ this year.
Yeah.
They're going to win the regular season.
Yeah.
That sealed it. That win over NC State. That's an interesting one. I'll tell you what, they can't stop anybody, but man, are they fun to watch on offense.
The claw fence, man.
Man. I think that's
intriguing. That's an intriguing name.
Now, this one you would never guess. I would never guess. It's a name we both know very well. It's a name we've interviewed many times, but I didn't realize he was on radars right now. Joe Moorhead.
Joe Moorhead.
Plus 1,000.
Wow. Where is he now?
I don't even know. I don't know. Where is Joe Moorhead?
Joe Moorhead is he's the offensive coordinator at Oregon.
I was getting ready to say I think he's out in the Pac-12. He's the OC at Oregon? Okay.
Yeah. He's got a wicked beard too.
Does he?
Yeah. Looks
Good
like
guy.
Santa. He's great.
We enjoyed our chats with him. I mean, obviously Oregon's having a great year. So after Bill O'Brien is Sonny Dykes at plus 1,300.
Okay, that's an interesting one.
Not surprised there. Yeah, not surprised. Hugh Freeze, Shane Beamer, and then Marcus Freeman is 11th on the list, plus 2,000.
Okay, so
if you were betting right now, is the next Virginia Tech coach that on that list? Would you put your money yes, or you would go Field?
No, I would say yes. I think the next coach is on that list. It's a broad list, but it's
which, by the way, Bud was not on that list.
Yeah,
and you didn't even guess him.
Because honestly, you're the first person to bring that up. Like I haven't read that anywhere.
Well, I was just thinking out loud. Like when you hear the AD say that, it's like, okay, well, sounds like you're looking for a guy who understands Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
There's not too many, right? I mean, it's pretty easy to connect those dots. Guys that would understand Virginia Tech and what they're about, their culture. So
I am curious to see how many legitimate looks Hugh Freeze gets this year. Has enough time passed, or is there still a stain on him that Power 5 jobs are going to stay away? But I am very curious of that.
Yeah.
Like if, let's just play the domino game. If Stoops leaves, does Kentucky look? For him to come back to the SEC? Or are they like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Virginia Tech fits. TCU fits with him. I'm curious. I'm curious of just how real the interest is in somebody like Hugh Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's just, us saying, well, yeah, people should be interested in him. So, I don't know. But the more jobs open and the dominoes fall, it's going to be fun. Always is.
So, that's what I was going to bring up. Did you happen to see the end of Baylor and Oklahoma?
I did.
You saw the very end.
I saw the end of the game. Is there a specific – there were a lot of games on.
Well, if you saw the end of the game, if you watched it in its entirety at the end, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not sure.
Are you talking about when they stormed the field?
Yeah. Then what? Then what happened?
And there was more time. They had to get everybody off because there was time
Then what
left.
happened?
They kicked a field goal.
Dave Aranda.
That's right.
Dave Aranda called a timeout and kicked a field goal.
That's right. Okay. I wasn't sure where exactly you were going with that because I knew they had to clear everybody off.
Well, I mean, my initial reaction was, "Oh my goodness, you talking about a set right there to do that?" And of course, both coaches addressed this, right? And he said that Dave Aranda said that he was doing it for tie-breaking purposes, more points. You got to stacking up for tie-breaking purposes for the Big 12. Come on.
That was his excuse, huh?
I didn't say it was an excuse. That was his story, and he's sticking to it. That he wanted to make sure that they tacked on more points in case there was a tiebreaker in the Big 12 and point differential came into play, that he wants to make sure that they've got the most points possible, and that helps their point differential.
There you go. By the way, his stock is rising.
Dave Aranda's?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's done a nice job there.
He's done a really nice job.
But I mean, I just pulled an article up. Bruce Feldman, Dave Aranda has Baylor rolling, and he's a name to watch in the USC head coaching search. Obviously, he's linked to LSU because of his time there.
Lincoln Riley said, "It became a safety issue. I know why Dave tried to kick the field goal, but there's a code of sportsmanship that I think you have to follow. I wouldn't have done it." Now, let me just tell you this. I'm going to go on and give everybody a free futures bet. I haven't looked at the 2022 schedule. We can do that if you like. I doubt they have the dates yet, right? I don't think that's out. I could be wrong. But next year it's going to be in Lincoln, too. When Oklahoma plays Baylor, gather up, if you've got, a safe in the house, if you've got money hidden in the house, in the attics, under mattresses, you dug some holes in the backyard and you have some money stashed there. Wherever you have secret stashes, go get it. Go collect it all. And bet it all on Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because this is what I can guarantee you. Oklahoma will absolutely – if Lincoln Riley's there – now keep this in mind. Lincoln Riley still has to be the coach, okay, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to go off to the NFL. I don't know what's going to happen.
No, his job's not going to be open. The job he wants isn't going to be open.
If Lincoln Riley's the coach next year at Oklahoma, when they host Baylor, I don't care what the line is, bet the Sooners and bet it heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a free tip from me, and that's free money from me to you.
Well,
that's
you don't know
gift.
if Aranda's going to be there either. So that, but still.
You think he's going to bounce after a year?
Depends on what the job is. No, I don't think
most guys don't bounce after a year when they're head coaches.
But I mean, if he gets offered SC or LSU, which I think is a long shot, you take those jobs, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't say no to those.
Yeah, I guess. I want to say I'm not sure if Aranda has to be, but yeah, I guess he's got to be. So if everything remains the same, I don't care what the line is. If it's 38.5, bet Oklahoma, okay? Because they will remember that, and Lincoln Riley will take it out on Baylor next year. They will pound them next year.
I don't think that's a stretch. There is not a date set, but they have Oklahoma's first 3 games are set with dates. And then they have, after that, they listed at Iowa and then Baylor. So I would say sometime in mid-October.
Probably around it's probably going to be maybe somewhere around the same time.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe early, maybe sometime in early November.
Yeah, in Norman. Like you said.
I said Lincoln.
You did, but that's okay. I knew what you meant.
That's too many Lincolns in Norman. Yeah, in Norman. Yeah, okay, so we have to remember this because, Time will get away from us, but we cannot lose out on free money.
No.
Okay? So we have to stay with this as a show. We have to stay dedicated. You, the listeners, have to stay dedicated. Let's keep monitoring. When that game comes out, when it's made available, you'll probably be able to bet it. I would say, in fact, this is what we should do. When it's probably in May or June, sometime in the summer months, that game will be up and available for you to bet.
Yeah.
That's when we hit it.
I'm down.
We don't wait till the season begins. We don't wait till, the week of.
No.
In the
you
summer,
jump on it.
The summer, we jump on that, and we jump on it hard, okay? Like somebody with your neck. Like somebody needs to jump on your neck and hit it hard, get you back in shape because you slept wrong.
I did.
And it seems like, the listeners, the great listeners, have, somebody's even reached out and said they heard that you got neck issues and they would like to help. So I hope that happens.
Thank you. Me too. Because it does kind of hurt.
Well, I know. I've done that before many times, and it does. And by the way, it's never quick.
No. And I keep trying to stretch it out, and that's just not helping.
No. You honestly are going to have to put either some ice or a heating pad. You're going to have to do some things to it to try to work it out. Because it's going to bother you.
Heating pad is definitely in my future.
Yeah. Because it's just not going to be fixed quick if you've really done a number on it.
Yeah.
But I was just curious if you had seen that because I was watching it and I was like, oh, my goodness. Did he just call a timeout? Oh, my goodness. He's sending the field goal unit out.
Yeah. I remember that now because
boy.
that was right. There were a ton of games ending at the same time.
Yep.
That was Penn State, Michigan, and but yeah, no, I they clear everybody off the field so he can do that. And, hey,
right then I was like, okay, there you go.
That's that's kind
year,
of a double bird without doing it.
That is a done deal. That will be my biggest bet of the year next year is in the summer when that game is made available because Oklahoma will absolutely pound Baylor next year. They don't forget that stuff, man. They become elephants when the stuff like that happens.
No, I get it.
I do too. I wouldn't.
It's kind of a respect thing.
Yep.
Especially at that level,
And when you come out and say, really, the point differential, really, that field goal, does it really? By the way, Baylor's lost 2 games. So Oklahoma will have to lose again.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve Sarkisian, how's that working out?
Yeah, did you hear the awkward question he got asked about this guy basically just kissing up to him? And I guess it was a reporter, but he was basically talking about, a few years ago, me and my friend, we had a problem and we had to solve the problem and find the right person to solve the problem and I feel like you're that guy that can solve the problem here at Texas. So kind of how do you view that? It was a very weird, very, very odd, question to ask. And there wasn't really a question in it, but it was kind of an awkward exchange in the post-game press conference with him.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure this is I heard Robbie and Joe touch on it. I have not. I guess did somebody write about it on The Athletic?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to go check it out.
Keith has texted in on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Can we please put a bow on the neck conversation?
Well, I want you to get to feeling better.
Thank you. And Huffy says, thank you for the free money, Darren. I'm going to rub that bet out. Thank you, Huffy.
Okay, we'll come back. Tim Hasselbeck. Let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
Save us, Tim.
Or let's do. Or not. Tim Hasselbeck to start the third hour of the show. We'll get into a lot of NFL stuff with him. The Rams have dropped 2 in a row, both on a national stage. It does not look good. Packers come back, shut out Seattle. NFC is crazy. Bucs lose to Washington. And I said it yesterday, the path in the AFC looks a whole lot easier than it does over on the other side. I don't know. We'll see if Tim agrees with that. We'll get into all kinds of good stuff with him next here on Darren, Donick, and Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
Now, you may say, well, a quarterback is more important than a running back. That's fine. You can say whatever you want.
The voice of the fan.
Even if we have to develop him while he's playing, I just want a boring first-round pick.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, Nashville, looking to spruce up your home for the holidays? Social Furniture on the West Side has you covered. They're packed with items you can either take home with you or have them delivered to you the same day. You've heard of inventory shortages. Well, not at Social Furniture. At Social Furniture, you can get your new furniture today. Yes, the same day. For instance, take this designer leather sectional. For not $3,000, it's only $1,299 with today's delivery. At Social Furniture, the savings are huge out there. They're located on the west side, 5412 Charlotte Avenue near White Bridge Road. Maybe you need some chairs for your table, or you have guests for the holidays and need furniture fast. Well, you can find it all at Social Furniture. They have thousands of combinations to choose from, and they'll deliver today. And guess what? The best thing is you don't have to pay today. You can take 12 months to pay with no interest. So load up the family and come to Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville.
Mortgage rates are on the move, but you can still lower your house payment with my friends at Loan Pronto. Willie here. Call Loan Pronto now and take advantage of their super popular zero-cost refi program. So many people are doing this before the year ends. You can refi now. Get a rate with an APR in the low twos with no junk fees and no closing costs, even if you refinanced 6 months ago. Loan Pronto's all-digital process is fast and easy, virtually no paperwork required, and most loans get closed in 14 days. And if you act right now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Rates are still really low. If you're currently in the APR range of over 2.75, call now. You got nothing to lose. See how much you can save by going into the new year. Lower that house payment. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans eligible. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
312 Pizza Company is family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style. Always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesdays and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 to order 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Peterborough, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
I'm dreaming has so bad. The mother boys don't know how to act.
Get your sexy on.
We are. Said we are. Born back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Third hour on this Tuesday. Darren McFarland and Chase McCabe alongside. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Hasselbeck. Brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Back-to-back games on a national stage. Sunday night football, Monday night football, and the Rams get housed. Concerned? Not concerned? Your thoughts on what the Titans and 49ers just did to L.A. the last two games?
Yeah, I think there's got to be concern because also in there, Robert Woods ends up with a big injury, and they weren't like last night was not competitive. So yeah, I think there's got to be real concern out there, especially when you think about the NFC and just not just the conference, I guess, but the division as well with Arizona. And I know Arizona, wasn't great last week, but they're going to get their players back. And so, yeah, I think there's got to be real concern. And look, I think it's interesting on this Odell Beckham situation that, he gets cut in Cleveland because they can't find a trade partner. Then no one claims his contract. And then the deal that he gets is really not all that great of a deal for a guy that, so many people are out there talking about how incredible he is.
Yep.
And then last night on the Manning cast, Peyton and Eli go diving deep into, a sixth-round running back that went to high school in Louisiana, but yet, not. So, I think that, with all of that stuff, I don't know. I'm not sure about the impact he's going to make.
Yeah, I don't either, and I don't buy what a lot of people are saying, that he's still an elite number one receiver. I don't buy it at all. So what do you think's going on? What do you see? I mean, they just keep adding names, Von Miller and OBJ, and they already have a bunch of names on that roster. And it's not like they're not good, but I mean, what have you seen the last two games? What's gone wrong? And Stafford has definitely not looked good the last 2 weeks.
Right. So offensively, yeah, that's been the key. We just go back to the Titans game. The Titans, Jeffrey Simmons took the game over.
Yep.
So that's certainly an offensive line, issue, and really, if you go back to that game as well, like that ends up being like, look, Stafford turned the game around when he throws the terrible pick. When he's pressured near the goal line, and then obviously it's a great play by Kevin Byard, but that's also a bad play by the quarterback. So, yeah, I think when you factor that in, you look at, last night turning the football over. Like, I don't care how explosive you can be. Like, and we've seen this with the Chiefs. Like, if you're turning the football over, like that's just. It's hard on your defense. It's, they're defending short fields. They're playing more snaps than they need to be playing. And it dictates the outcome of the game. So I think the quarterback play has been the biggest thing. And then, people have, at times been successful running the ball on them. And like, I'm going to be out, on an island on this one. And I've had arguments with Jeff Saturday about this, and I think this goes into when you just sign stars, not guys that are willing to play a role on a team. Aaron Donald is awesome. He can dominate a football game. He also takes some liberties, and he guesses, and he pass rushes sometimes on run plays. And, Jeff Saturday argued with me that, like, that's okay. That's just like the cost of doing business when you have a guy like him. But I see people rip off like 12-yard runs because, he's putting a swim move on a guard trying to pass rush, and they're running the ball in the A-gap right inside of him. So I think there's an element of when you are signing guys that don't want to play a role necessarily and are looking to make plays themselves, that those things can happen.
How do you explain what happened? Let's go back over to the AFC side. How do you explain what happened on Thursday night with the Ravens? Like, you think about it. They should have lost to the Colts on, what was that, Monday Night Football. They had no business winning that game. They needed a 66-yard field goal that doinked off the post and in, or the crossbar, and in to beat Detroit. I mean, they've had all these close wins. What are the Ravens? Are they good? Are they a fraud? Like, what are they? How do you explain them getting how? I mean, that was an awful game against a below average Miami Dolphins team.
Yeah, I'm going to admit I watched a lot of the Pitt, North Carolina game.
You did? Yeah, that was a fun game.
Was going.
That was a fun game.
It sounds like you did too. It was like, oh, not as much fun as I thought this was going to be. Let's go over here. Let's go check out ESPN right now. With those quarterback runs, they run QB bash, and it's just like, I don't know how anyone can stop this. Like, it's so good, and I don't know how you're doing. And then all of a sudden he's making, like, difficult throws to the tight end, and you're saying, like, wow, like, these guys, they're hard to defend. Like, what do you try to take away? And there's other times where it's just like they look really bad. And I don't know for the life of me what it is. I really don't. And that's why, like, this weekend, Pittsburgh's tie, like, Pittsburgh could end up being in first place in that division if they don't tie to a winless Detroit team. So to explain, like, what's going on in the AFC, especially the AFC North, like, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't, because everyone wanted to bury Pittsburgh earlier, and if Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have COVID, they're probably in first place in that division.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that thing maybe isn't as good as we thought it was, and maybe those teams aren't as dangerous. Come see them in the postseason. If you see them in the postseason, then from what we thought.
Okay, let's stay in that division. Jekyll and Hyde. What are you getting every week? And I kind of feel like the reason they're Jekyll and Hyde is really because, they're a byproduct of their quarterback. And I really want to know how you feel about Baker Mayfield, because when I watch him, and I feel like we have firsthand knowledge of what this looks like in this market because we've seen it before. Like, the quarterback constantly has to get propped up to look good, because in the end, they're not elite, and so they have to always be given the best of everything to try to make them better. And I kind of feel like that's what Baker Mayfield is. We know he's not elite, but from game to game, I just don't know what the hell you're getting with that guy. When you see the Browns, what do you see?
Yeah, here's to be just really clear on Baker. Baker is not elite. He's not a make everybody around him better player, but he is more than good enough to be, play starting caliber football. Now, what happens is when he gets banged up, which he clearly is right now, then all of a sudden he can't play to his best. And so now it really doesn't look all that great. And look, here's what I would say with him. Like, to me, I don't think Baker's as good as Kirk Cousins. Okay? Now, Kirk has been really, like, Kirk had the benefit of being pretty healthy throughout his time as a starter. And because of that, like, go look up Kirk Cousins' numbers. Kirk Cousins' numbers are really, really impressive. But he's played for good play callers. He's played with good supporting casts. And, they're playoff caliber teams, with him. And so Baker, I don't think, can play at that level when he's injured. And consistently. Like, I think he can at times, but consistently. And so, yeah, I think that's why you get the up and down with him. And look, that's a problem. The other aspect of it is this too, and I have been pretty hard on New England. I think I don't love their perimeter talent on the offensive side. Quarterback's playing great. The defense was not playing great early, but they seem to be playing significantly better now. That also may be just a way better football team than maybe we realized. And look, they maybe are as good as anybody in the AFC.
I want to know a player's perspective. I want to know if there's going to be any fallout in the locker room over what took place with Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos. They get housed at home by the Eagles. Yeah. He throws a pick that gets taken to the house. I don't remember how long it was. It was long. It was a long touchdown. And he basically had
a one-score game when it happened.
Yeah, it was a one-score game, and he basically olayed. Well, he olayed him at about the 50-yard line. The 50-yard line. And just basically peeled off and didn't even touch the guy as he runs into the end zone 50 more yards to the end zone in a one-score game. Is there going to be fallout in the locker room? Because they all see it. How does that play out moving forward, in your opinion?
Yeah, there's a saying in the NFL, be who you can afford to be. And so what that means is, listen, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you can not go to any off-season workouts, and that's okay. You can afford to be Aaron Rodgers, okay? If you are Logan Woodside, you need to show up for the off-season program, okay? Be who you can afford to be. Tom Brady does not want to run down an interception. Everybody understands that Tom Brady's not going to run down and try to make a play on an interception. But Teddy Bridgewater can't afford to be Tom Brady. And so I think people are going to look at it, especially when you have guys that are fighting through injuries, and every team has them, to be like, hold on a second. This is a one-score game. I'm playing with a partially torn labrum. I'm playing with a dislocated elbow. I'm playing with a bad ankle or rib or whatever it is, shoulder, and you're not even going to try to make the tackle. Like, you're literally going to tap out. I do think that's a problem for who Teddy Bridgewater is as a player.
Yeah. Washington, you brought them up. You brought up Tom Brady. That's the Bucs lose going into the break. They have a bye week. They come out of the break with a loss. And how impressive was that Washington drive? 10.5 minutes in the fourth quarter in a 3-point game? Let me just say this real quick about Taylor Heineke. And Chase knows, because I've brought this up back at the beginning of the year. I was like, I'm impressed. Like, this guy, I think, can play. I'm not endorsing him as now a 17-week quarterback in the NFL, even though he's going to be that this year. I'm just simply saying I don't know how it's all going to play out with him. I think he brings enough to the table. This guy is going to be in the league for a long time. It may be as a backup, but this guy in spots, I was really impressed with him. I was really impressed with that drive. Tampa Bay's chomping at the bit to get back on the field so Tom Brady can come back and win this game, and the Bucs defense can't get off the field.
Yeah, he's got some Ryan Fitzpatrick in him. And, I do know this. When he was in Minnesota early in his first couple of years, that coaching staff, I believe it was North Turner, they really liked him, thought he was a very good player. And obviously, finding your opportunity is hard. I don't believe he's a starter, in the NFL. He obviously is this year. And I think Washington will, look to upgrade at the position. But to your point about that drive, it was incredible. And I think here's the thing that's disappointing if you are Tampa Bay. For as good as they were offensively and can be offensively, but their defense was as good a year ago. Remember, it was their defense that in the Super Bowl got after Patrick Mahomes. And for that defense to have that happen to them in that spot of the game has got to be alarming. And I would be more concerned about getting things fixed on defense, as they've had injuries at corner and they're trying to fix that issue. I'd be more concerned about fixing the defense than I would be about the offense. Brady's going to get figured out on the offense. But that defense needs to get things right, and right now they haven't been.
We're talking to Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN NFL analyst, and let's stay in that division. Cam, told everybody he's back with the Panthers, but we saw that they get the win. I mean, what's realistic here, though, with Cam Newton? He's getting first-team reps this week. I would assume he's going to be the starter moving forward with Darnold out. But, I mean, can he realistically get them back to the playoffs?
I don't think so. What did he throw, 4 passes this weekend?
Yeah.
Look, there are some things that he can do that are going to be really good. And, he's back and all that stuff. But, I think the reality is he hasn't really not been very good since, I don't know, what would it have been, 2016? It's been a while since he's been really good. So, I think, or maybe it was 2018. Still, it's been a long time. And so I think it's unrealistic to think that he is going to, kind of take that small, sample size of what we saw last week and have that be a throughout a game type performance. I just don't think it will be. Now, they'll be able to do some cool stuff with him because he'd probably still be a threat to run, but staying healthy and being able to do it would still be a big concern of mine for him going forward.
I know Russell's been hurt, but, I think there were a lot of things with Seattle in the offseason that kind of you wondered about. They're 3-6 right now. If Russell can get healthy, who knows what happens with that. But what's kind of your long-term view with the Seahawks moving forward, not just this season?
Look, I think if Seattle were able to – let me put it this way. If Chicago had a quarterback to offer Seattle, I think Russell Wilson would have been gone last year. So I think that Seattle is kind of tired of, was not thrilled with Russell last offseason. The fact that they're not winning, which probably makes it, Russell less happy. Yeah, if they're not a playoff team this year, which they don't look like they are, and they probably are not going to be, I could see him ending up somewhere else. And I could see, Seattle turning the page, and I think there'll be people that are interested in Russell Wilson.
Is Pete Carroll the head coach?
I do think Pete's still the head coach. I think it's just in his DNA. I think he loves doing it. I think there's a good relationship still there. But I think that he may try to do it a different way with a different quarterback.
The Dallas Cowboys turn it around, just throttle Atlanta. Here comes my Dallas question. So do you kind of view the Denver loss as just a bad week, and now this is back to how they were? And also, how impressed are you with some of the injuries they've had on defense that they're still able to keep it up the way they are?
Yeah, I do think it was one of those weeks. That was the hiccup. That's the Jets game for the Titans. That's the one where you look back and you're like, man, I don't even know what happened. And defensively, yeah, look, I think that what they've done on defense, when you think about how bad they were a year ago, and then you think about some of the stuff they've had to deal with this season, that's probably been more impressive than, how they've played on offense. But, offensively, they can be – they're when Dak's going, they're really, really good, and they've got really good talent. And for all the criticism of, Jerry Jones as the general manager, they've got talented players on their team. They pick good players. They sign good players. And, I think when people talk about, Jerry as the GM, I think people need to give credit to him for the level of talent they have on their roster.
Tim, the Titans play Houston this week and look to go 9-2 and continue the top spot in the AFC. But I think all of us are looking ahead a little bit because I believe New England is going to be their biggest test that's left, going on the road at New England. The Patriots playing good ball right now. Do you agree with that could be the toughest one moving forward for Tennessee? I
do think that. I said kind of what I said about New England, and the quarterback's playing great, and so I do think that's the case. And look, the sitting where the Titans sit now, beating some of the teams that they've beaten. So when you think about head-to-head, I know we got a lot of football left, but with the 1 seed getting the bye and that's it now, just think of the magnitude of that. And with an extra week of the regular season and more playoff games being played, the wear and tear, the fact that that's one more shot. And I don't know Derrick Henry's situation, but the potential for maybe a return, I being in the driver's seat this year feels like it's a bigger deal than it has been in the past, especially when you start to factor in some of the things that are going on with the Titans. So yeah, I think that getting through some of what they've gotten through earlier in the season and how that stacks up, if they can continue to play well, that's a big deal. And I will say this, I saw changes in their offense that were significant, and it's not a drastic change, but changes that need to be made, without Derrick Henry this past weekend, and I think that's a really encouraging sign.
Hey, Mr. ACC, who's the next Virginia Tech coach?
Well, look, I don't know who the next Virginia Tech coach is, but I think there's.
Oh no!
Oh, really?
He cut out right as we're.
No, I didn't. Did I cut out? Am I back?
You did.
Yeah,
you
Am I
did.
back?
I think you said
Well,
the next
think about
Virginia
this,
Tech's
okay?
coach is, and then you cut out.
Yeah, I don't know who the next Virginia Tech coach is, but think about this. Miami also just fired their athletic director, so the Miami job could end up being open. And you think about the jobs on the West Coast that are going to be open. So Washington State, USC, UCLA and Arizona State may be available. And then, so guys are going to move to those jobs. So what happens at Penn State? What happens at Notre Dame? LSU's available. Does Lane Kiffin, does he end up being the Miami coach? There are so many moving chairs, and I think there's going to be guys in the ACC that are drawing interest. So whether it's Dave Clawson at Wake Forest, whether it's, quite honestly, it's Jeff Halfley at Boston College. And this isn't even taking into consideration, what's going to happen with NFL coaching jobs. And Clemson, that's held on to their coordinators, Brent Venables and Tony Elliott, for a while, people are coming after those guys.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fascinating year with college coaching. It'll entail, some of these.
Tim, what do you think that job is at this point?
I was going to say, I think it's interesting. It's cute that Dabo gets all the praise for keeping Venables, and his staff they've kept them together forever. But then the minute something, they don't have their, undefeated season or just where they lose a game, they have just an average season. Now everybody's probably going, I think maybe it's time for change, right? And I think probably that will prompt change, don't you think?
Well, here's what I think's happened there. Clemson is, Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott had been there a long time. Jeff Scott takes the South Florida job. Yeah. They were co-coordinators. Tony Elliott now is making, he's making very good money as a coordinator. And so, why go chase a job that you don't love? And then for Brent Venables, it's been clear that, there have been plenty of people that have come after him. He'll be a very good head coach somewhere. And, he has sons that play on that team at Clemson. He's got a linebacker and a safety, sons that he's playing, that are playing for him. So same deal. He's making a lot of money. So why go chase something else? Those guys are good coaches, and people are going to come after them. And, as for the Virginia Tech job, is that a good job? Look, that pays a lot of money. I don't, that's somewhere between $4 and $5 million is my understanding. And you can get good players coming out of the state of Virginia that want to go play at Virginia Tech. So, that's an attractive coaching job. And so I think there's going to be massive movement. I think it'll have, obviously for down here, people's interest. There's SEC and, certainly ACC, factors that are going into it. But look, somebody told me right away, I don't know, Manny Diaz is still the head coach at Miami. With the athletic director fired and them having a disappointing year, the Miami job. And, the first name that was mentioned to me on the Miami job was Lane Kiffin.
I know. Is that a good job, though? I mean, can you win at Miami unless you're cheating your know-what off? I mean, is it really a good job?
There's a lot of history at that program, and there are a lot of players from Florida that would love to play in Miami.
I know, but
it's not as everyone can talk about facilities and that stuff, and maybe that's a factor for some. But there are a lot of players that would love to go play at the U. A lot of players.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of players back in the day.
Saying all this, think about this: Florida. What's going to happen in Florida? Like, is that a safe situation in Florida?
We were talking about it.
Well, if they would have lost to Samford, it wouldn't be.
Right. So, is going to be wild, absolutely wild. And look, I think there'll be coaching that are.
The West Wing just can't handle it.
He's in the castle.
Are you kidding me? It's the West Wing? This is crazy. I literally I'm the same spot all the time. Same spot. That's frustrating to me.
I think you're messing with us because every time you're about to say something really good, it's like a cliffhanger. You just go away, and we're like left sitting going, "What? What is he saying?"
I'm not lying. I've done this interview in the same spot for 5 years straight. So,
Tim, always a pleasure. Thanks for doing this. Have a great week, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, see you, fellas.
Tim Hasselbeck every week. Always good to chat with him. And it is true, though. I feel like a lot of times it's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, he's about to say something really, really good, and it cuts out.
And then it cuts out. By the way, every week he is brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Chase, why don't you tell them about BetMGM?
I will. Let's talk some hoops because BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcomes you with a special offer on the NBA. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game, and if either team in that game hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets regardless of your bet's outcome. All you have to do is use the bonus code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. Enjoy NBA action like never before with BetMGM's live betting options, boosted odds specials, and daily promotions at your fingertips all season long. Just download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets if a three-pointer is made in the game you wager on. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. only. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Tonight,
The 3-ball, yes, sir!
the MTSU Blue Raiders continue their non-conference slate in Murfreesboro against the Winthrop Eagles. Coverage begins at 5:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, I'm Gary Smith, head coach of Nashville SC. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Don't forget about our pregame show. It'll be at Rock Bottom Brewery. That'll be on Broadway. Thank you, Green Day, for bringing us back. That'll be this Sunday. Of course, the Titans will be hosting the Texans. That'll be from 9:30 until 11:30 in the morning. So if you're looking for a place to hang and listen to this pregame show, that's your place. Have a breakfast, have some food, have some drinks. Rock Bottom Brewery on Broadway. And then you can head over to Nissan Stadium and watch the Titans beat the Texans. Our pregame show is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, FreedomTireGuys.com, FanDuel, E2 Roofing, Hillside Medical, Social Furniture, and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. And, of course, our pregame show will have Jared Stillman, Mark Howard, and forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders, who's got really good information. Great guy, just can't pick games. So just don't ask him to who's going to win.
Compliment, and no compliment.
You can't do that, but great guy, and brings a lot to the pregame show.
He does.
Back here on the DDC, good stuff there from Tim Hasselback. You know, we haven't brought this up, and I know it's just Tuesday, but did you happen to see what I viewed as an awkward exchange between Adrian Peterson and Sean Payton? Did anybody catch that?
I didn't. The only exchanges that I saw was Adrian Peterson and Mark Ingram. They did a jersey swap, but no, I didn't. I totally missed that.
Did Mr. Saint catch that?
Did you catch that, Elijah?
The Sean Payton,
yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
It was as brief as Adrian Peterson's stint with the Saints.
I know
that. I did
but
kinda
if you
catch it a little
remember,
bit.
and that's why I brought up, and it helped me refresh my memory because sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. Wasn't there a really awkward exchange whenever Adrian Peterson was in the game and he was like staring a hole through Sean Payton?
Oh yeah, because Alvin Kamara
and it was
getting
caught
his
on
carries.
camera, right? It was really, really awkward. Right? I didn't just make that up in my head. True?
Oh yeah, that totally happened.
I do remember that.
Okay. Well, Adrian Peterson came up and kind of like grabbed him like his shoulder, you know? Like basically like squeezing, you know, like, hey, you know, gave him a big smile. And Sean Payton literally like looked at him and I thought with like the fakest smile ever and just walked away. Actually ran away. I thought that was really awkward. Like to me, just looking at it, it looked like Sean Payton wanted nothing to do with Adrian Peterson. There certainly wasn't any talk. Hey, how have you been? Good to see you back in the league. None of that. Like, it looked like a fake smile, and he ran away.
I mean, I'm not saying that Sean Payton did the right thing running away, but I mean, I wouldn't. It was a brief stint that they were there, and clearly we've pointed out a moment that wasn't very good. So it sounds like there's not really much of a relationship.
I know, but that you wouldn't be able to tell that by Adrian Peterson's reaction. His reaction looked like he was coming up going, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, big smile, and he just kind of gave him a fake smile and was like, "Okay, later," but he didn't say later. Just was curious. I haven't heard anybody bring that up. And I just thought it was something that got my attention. I was like, that seemed a little bit frosty. That was a little bit cold. So they have the Texans. And see, this is the point. All these great games have made it so easy, right? Each week. And so the Titans have been controlling the division. Everybody feels good that they're gonna be a playoff team. And then it's like the Texans game. And it's like, okay, that's great. It's a game that you should absolutely win at home. But it is hard to get everybody right. It's like breaking down the Texans. Great.
Whoopee.
Like,
I'm going to the game, but I'm going for Floyd. That's why I'm going.
Yeah.
But as they will put Floyd Reese and Jeff Fisher in the Ring of Honor at halftime. But I don't expect it to be an exciting football game by any means. But it's, you got to go take care of business. This is one you need to win. I mean, you've swept the Colts. Now go ahead and take care of the Texans. Then take care of the Jags. Win all your division games. And feel good about it.
I did catch, because I do wonder, is there going to be another quarterback shuffle this offseason? Could this be another season like 2 years ago with the big, remember? I mean, all the quarterbacks who shuffled around,
Rivers.
Brady and Rivers, and
who was the other one?
Some. There was more. We're missing some.
Well, those are the biggest ones, but
Brady and Rivers, and there were others. I do think, because if you listen to Tim Hasselbeck, did he not kind of paint the picture like, don't be surprised if Russell Wilson is out of there after this year?
Yeah, that's how I took it.
That's what I'm sitting there going,
Well, I mean, think about it. Rodgers could leave, or I think probably will. Russell.
But why do you say that?
Rodgers?
Yeah. How's he going to get out of there? You think the team?
They've already changed the deal. That was the compromise to get him to come back this year. They basically
but what
put
was
void.
The deal?
Well, they put void year. The contract basically voids after this year. It's a 1-year deal.
It voids, or they could void it.
I believe they added the void years. They've changed the contract to basically be a 1-year deal, and he becomes a free agent. Now, how he has put it, how I've heard it, stated is we'll revisit it after this year. But the way I understood it was it's set up that he can leave.
You have Deshaun Watson with Houston. That book is closed. They're not coming back. That is a marriage. There won't be a second marriage. They won't get remarried in the offseason. Like, that's over. So they're going to have to figure that out. So you could have Deshaun Watson on the move. You could have Russell Wilson on the move. You could have Aaron Rodgers on the move. Those are 3 gigantic quarterbacks, 3 elite quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks that change franchises. And where do they go?
It's going to be –
because, by the way, Roethlisberger is going to retire. So Pittsburgh's going to be looking for a franchise quarterback. I mean, to me, it makes a ton of sense.
That
one of them would end in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. I could see that. So here's a little more detail on Rodgers.
Okay.
2023 is the void year, but 2022 it's basically they can get out, or they can. It's much more
The
maneuverable.
Packers?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
but
much.
they're not going to get out. That's the point. They're not going to. Okay, I didn't think so. I didn't think it was after
I'm not.
this year.
You're willing to say that. I'm not.
Oh, I'm
After what
definitely
they
willing
went
to say
through
that.
this year,
Nah.
I don't know.
You just saw life with Jordan Love. How'd that look?
It looked bad, but okay.
So you're going to sign up for that, and then all of them are going to be cleaning out their offices in a year.
Well, but with some of these quarterbacks that we're talking about that could be out there, that they could go that route. I'm not. I am of the belief that it is truly a wait and see. And if they win the Super Bowl, sure, he might come back. But if it's anything short of that,
Why? What's going to change? This has nothing to do with winning the Super Bowl.
no, it has to do with his
these
ego,
are
and
two
he's
sides
pissed
that-
off, and he doesn't like the
Right.
GM. They're not going to fire the GM. They've made that pretty clear.
Right, but what's the Super Bowl change? Nothing. This is about two people that don't like each other. So what does the Super Bowl do to change that?
Well, and I'm also not convinced that he doesn't. The Jeopardy thing could come back up again. He could walk away. I'm just not willing. I'm just not willing to say that it's a foregone conclusion. He's back in Green Bay in 2022.
I didn't think it was voided after this year. I think I would have remembered seeing that. So I don't think if they've got the opportunity, they're not going to do it. He'll be back. So you can take that off the table then. Then I now believe he won't be on the move. But you still think that could happen. I mean, that's fine. They could do that, and then they'll all be clean, fixing their resumes because they'll all be looking for jobs after a year. So that would be great. They get rid of the headache, and then they'll all get fired. So
Okay.
that'll be
So
fantastic.
to your conversation, to the original conversation, let's put Rodgers aside. We'll say that we'll just put him aside. Quarterbacks that you're saying will be available: Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and then who are the others?
Well, I'm trying to think of teams. So I'm thinking of teams that are going to be in the quarterback market. So we
Because
know
Roethlisberger's going to be done.
because
that's
Pittsburgh
done.
will be in the market for a quarterback, and if Russell Wilson does indeed leave, then that will have Seattle in the market. I do believe, and that's the reason I brought this up with Tim. Like Denver's going to move. This will be what happened on Sunday. I think is a game breaker.
Yep.
For Teddy Bridgewater,
Denver
you can't repair that. If you've seen the play, or if you haven't seen the play and you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. It's out there for you to find. He just olays a play and peels off on a one-score game. He throws a pick six and could have tackled the guy at the 50-yard line and just peeled up, just literally stopped and let him. He just olay, and he goes to the house, and then they get housed after that. How do you recover from that?
I don't think you do.
I mean, do you think his teammates respect him?
No.
And how do you get that back? I don't think you can. So that's over. We know they don't believe in Drew Lock.
Yeah, so Denver's going to be looking for one.
Denver will definitely be looking for a franchise quarterback.
Washington
definitely looking for a franchise quarterback.
Feels like Miami, they can't decide what they want to do.
That's a good one.
I mean, I'm putting them on that list. I mean,
I think Philadelphia still has to be on that list too, because I don't think they're completely sold on Hurts.
Houston,
for sure. So, right there's a real opportunity for a big time quarterback shuffle yet again.
Are the Giants looking for their? I think they are.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't think they do either. But if they ever decide that they want to know what they're doing, I think they're looking for a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I never know what the Giants what they're thinking.
I'll throw another team in there. Well, Detroit, but Detroit's kind of in a league of its own.
Well, actually that needs to be on the list because Jared Goff is awful.
He sucks.
He's awful.
I think the Minnesota Vikings could be on that list.
I don't view Kirk Cousins like Tim does.
No,
I'm sorry.
I never have. I don't think he's very good.
He's a game
average.
He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback in meaningless games or meaningless spots. I think when something's on the line or it's a big game, I think he wilts. I don't think he's a big game quarterback. That's
I agree.
just me. And not everybody is.
I think that Elijah, cover your ears. I think the Saints. Maybe they stick with Jameis for another year, but they got to figure that out long term.
Yep,
yeah,
they could be.
The Panthers, the Falcons are I think the Falcons need to address that at some point. The Panthers definitely do. I mean, Sam Darnold's clearly not it. And then Seattle, we've already.
So the question is, where would the two biggest ones are Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. So where do they go? Because we just named a whole lot of landing spots.
If Green Bay opens up, they're going to go after Russell Wilson. I think they will go after Russell Wilson. That just seems like a fit. I could see him and LaFleur working. Now, you don't think it's going to be open, but
nope.
But I think if it is, that could certainly be a spot. New Orleans could work. That could work for Russell.
Is that an attractive spot?
I think so. I do. I think so. Enough weapons around, for somebody like
Deshaun
him.
Watson want to go back to, close to his college days? Would Carolina make sense with him?
Potentially, but what? Well, and he does have some say because I think he has a no-trade clause. But a lot of it he's kind of in a different category because, it all depends on his legal situation.
Right. True.
So looking at it from, free agent, like if they just move on from – I need to look at Russell Wilson's contract. But it's a good question to ponder.
Clark Lee at 1 o'clock. Mitch Light following. We'll come back, wrap up the third hour next.
Friday evening at 5, it's Floyd Reese, a true Titan, honoring the GM's legacy as he goes into the Ring of Honor, featuring some of the biggest names in franchise history, and hosted by longtime co-host Jared Stillman. Floyd Reese, a true Titan, presented by Neighbors in Germantown. Tune in Friday at 5 on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN, 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Warmer start this morning with temperatures in the 40s on our way to highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s under mostly cloudy skies with a few sprinkles possible midday.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today. Calling all sweet tooths. Head to Nashville Toffee Company, a place where rich, chocolatey daydreams are created from a secret family recipe generations in the making. Their toffees and candies are handcrafted in Nashville using all natural, kosher-certified ingredients. Sweet creamery butter, pure cane sugar, premium roasted nuts, deep rich chocolate, and sea salt. Visit NashvilleToffeeCompany.com or drop by their headquarters on Air Lane Drive for a positively hassle-free shopping experience. Whether you're buying for 1 or 100, Nashville Toffee Company is here to make your holiday gift giving easy.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old? You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or invigoratehealthtn.com.
Your Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early, get the first pick, and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month? Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks is ready to help lift Nashville. As the Southeast's most trusted name in crane and equipment rental for over 30 years, Craneworks offers certified operators to make sure the job is done right. Rentalworks has a diverse fleet of equipment to assist in any project, big or small. From forklifts to carry deck cranes, they have it all. When it's time for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project, call Craneworks. Visit craneworks.com.
Robbie Stanley.
That size and that speed just doesn't grow on trees. That could be something that you could really turn into.
Joe Rexroad.
Just hold out and somebody will call in the bad signal.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexroad every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Tell everybody about tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Yes, Smashville Live tomorrow night, as I will be joined by David Legwan, former Predator, for the first half of the show, and then Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton for the second half. So excited about that. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7, and we'll have Preds players, former players, other special guests. You can watch the show via 1025 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. So join us for Smashville Live tomorrow at 6 with Leggy and Scott Hamilton.
Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Okay, do we have a text on our text line?
We do, and you know, it's our resident Steelers fan. Whenever we say anything about the Steelers, Barrett in the Borough chimes in. Darren and Chase, please state your source or sources concerning your statements about number 7 in Pittsburgh.
It's an opinion. I don't need to say the source.
Yeah. I mean,
look at him.
He's a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
And he was already weighing his options on this year. I mean, it was, you know, and a quarterback gets to that age, it's kind of a year-to-year thing. I feel like this is it. I think this is it. I think Pittsburgh is going to be looking for their next franchise quarterback starting next season. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I was much higher on Pittsburgh than you, but it doesn't mean that I feel like Roethlisberger should come back for more, because it's a hard watch.
And
I get it. Here's the problem. Here is the quandary that they're in. Unless you have the next guy, this is what it looks like after him, and it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Because Mason Rudolph is not the guy.
He's not very good.
He's not very good. We've seen enough of Mason Rudolph to know he's just not very good. He is average at best.
The thing that I'm curious of, what happens with Jimmy G? Nah, I don't think Jimmy G. I'm not saying he's elite. He's obviously in a different category as the ones we've been talking about.
Well, that's where I was going. I was actually going to bring him up because I think he's going to be on the move. I mean, they have.
He's
to.
totally. The contract is now. Russell Wilson would have to be traded. This, you know, with his contract, there's an out after 2022, so after next year. But for him to move this year, it would have to be a trade. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like the Saints would definitely be the fit for him. But
for who?
For Russell Wilson. But with Jimmy G, that's an interesting one, because I don't think he's awful. I just think he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
But
that's a problem.
Yeah. But I mean, he's kind of the Alex Smith stopgap kind of guy. So
yeah, I don't know where he goes. We just named a whole lot of openings or possible openings. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know. I don't know what makes sense. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe that's one Denver. I mean, Denver just goes through a quarterback a year, so maybe
Denver could be. Maybe that's Pittsburgh. Maybe he's the stopgap in Pittsburgh.
Could be.
Washington.
Could be Washington.
They're no strangers to that.
Nope.
Because let's also point out the draft class for quarterbacks this year, not great.
No.
Not great.
No, this is not going to be a good year. If you're looking for your quarterback this year, I don't think this is your year.
So finding that guy is, I don't think, going to come in this draft class. Could be wrong. Could be a surprise in there. But right now I don't see that. But there could definitely be some movement. And here's the other thing. Some, backups that we're seeing right now, they don't look very good. To think, could there be a backup that goes on the move, can be a starter somewhere?
Typically that just it rarely happens.
Jacoby Brissett, good backup, not a starter. Just not.
Did you watch him?
Yeah.
They lose that game if he stays in the whole game.
Agreed. Was not good.
No, it was not good at all. Like, I hate to say it because you don't wish injury upon anybody, but if you wanted Miami to win, their best shot of them winning is what happened.
Yeah.
Because it was going to happen with Brissett. He was not very good. Not very good at all. All right, we'll come back. We'll head over to West End and talk with Clark Lee. We do that every Tuesday at this time, and we look forward to that. Then we'll talk to Mitch Light after that. But right now I'm going to talk to you about Creation CBD. You hear me talk about them every day because they present our show, and we're appreciative of that. But if you're like me and you've got aches and pains that, bother you a lot all over your body, may not be every day, but just, every once in a while, you just got a lot of aches and pains, and you're looking for a solution. Well, I've got it, Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that right there says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products from right here in Middle Tennessee, from seed to final sell. Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use and for your pets, too. If you have a pet that has medical issues like we do, a female German Shepherd that has seizures and has had them for 3+ years, and a lot of them, and has been to countless vet visits and takes countless pills and nothing changes, and then we put her on a pet tincture from Creation CBD and everything changes. Her seizures go away, she loses weight, she's got pep in her step, she's a dog again, and it has been a real game changer for us and for her. And if you've got a dog at home that you've been experiencing that, you definitely want to look into this. Order yours now at CreationCompany.com. Creation CBD, curated for life.
The MTSU Blue Raiders live here.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee! 3-ball, yes, sir!
And when you're in the borough, tune us in on 97.5.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown!
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Montreal Canadiens this Saturday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 p.m. with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beer Cave, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end. and people are getting checks for 60, 70, 100 grand or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Bode Nashville puts you in a chic and stylish downtown Nashville hotel. Walking distance to some of Music City's most popular spots. Working with local partners, they introduce you to the city, its craft, and its tastes. From their porch coffee and marketplace, serving local coffee from Stay Golden, to their in-house cocktail bar, Sidebar. Bode Nashville is a perfect spot for your pregame or nightcap and citywide adventure in between. Connect to Music City, its culture, its craft, and each other at Bode Nashville at 401 2nd Avenue South in Sobro.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Final hour, Darren, Donick, and Chase here on this Tuesday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good day. To this point, Darren McFarland and Chase McCabe with you. Let's over to West End, where we were last week in the press box at the Hawk. We enjoyed that last week, but we're now going to talk with head football coach Clark Lee. The birthday boy is on the line with us. Happy 39th birthday, Coach.
Well, listen, there's a little bit of misinformation out there because I spent my 40th, I guess it was the day before. It was 39 last Wednesday with Robbie and Rexroad. That morning in the Hawk, and then 40 last Thursday, the 11th. So, unfortunately, I am already over the hill, and I'm on the descent now. And
wait a minute, we do have some In fact, what I saw was a who was it? Brett McMurphy, I think, is who I saw this morning, who tweeted out, "Happy birthday, Vanderbilt's Clark Lee turns 39 today," and I was like, "Oh, cool, we got Coach on today.
Well,
I'll wish him happy birthday."
I love it, and what I need to do is carry this information home so that I'm celebrated once again today. I think what it is, I think somehow, honestly, because when I took the job, there was a lot out there about the 38-year-old head coach, and somewhere posted online, it might have been like a Wikipedia or something like that had my birthday as not my birthday, so. That's probably what Brett was reacting to, and I'm all for it, though. Why not celebrate it twice, honestly?
So you're 39 or 40?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I don't even know the age anymore. I'm so confused. How old are you? You're 40?
Yeah,
or you're 39?
I'm 40 years old. 40.
My goodness. So let's look this up. So this is incredible. You're
right.
Because
Wikipedia says 39.
39 on November 11th, but then when you read your Wikipedia page, it says born on November 16th.
Right.
What?
Right.
What in the world?
I don't know how one goes about correcting the Wikipedia, but maybe we should just scrub it now and update it.
That is
wow.
That is crazy because literally right before the show, I saw Brett McMurphy's tweet about your birthday, your 39th birthday, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll tell we'll start the interview saying happy birthday, Coach." And
listen, you're a few days late, but it's appreciated nonetheless. I just got to tell you, it's those are things that when I showed up to my office last Thursday, November 11th, to celebrate 40, I wanted to have the most inconspicuous day that's ever been had. And right when I walk into the lobby, there's big gold balloons that spelled out 40. And then I opened the door to my office, and some of our young staff had filled the room with balloons. So there was every meeting I had was where we were kicking around balloons to sit around the coffee table. There was no getting around 40 hitting me right in the face last Thursday. So it was celebrated appropriately, but I'm good with let's continue it going because might as well.
Well, this is a prime example of misinformation because that would be the fastest birthday in the history of birthdays, according to Wikipedia, for you to be 39
not ready for
on the
41,
11th. Yeah, and to be 40th on the 16th. So that's bad info. So nonetheless, congratulations or happy birthday, happy 40th birthday. And we were over there on Wednesday, and Robbie and Rex Road had the morning show. We followed up with our show over there from the press box at the Hawk, and we did have athletics director Candace Lee on, and she was talking about the renderings, and then poof, Friday she was going to do a meeting, discussing, we know about the plans, and then Friday it came out, the renderings of the football stadium and what it, can look like moving forward. What were your initial thoughts when you saw that?
Well, obviously I sometimes get the sneak peek, and
you do, and you should.
Yeah. But I was so energized for those renderings to get released. I think I feel like it just defines the moment we're in, and obviously just like you guys, I've been around the program and native of Nashville and followed the program, and I know there's a number of people that it was important for them to see those diagrams, to see exactly what this is going to look like, to take this from concept and actually put it to paper and say, this is what you're investing in, and this defines the moment that we're in for Vanderbilt and specifically for Vanderbilt football. And Vandy United is going to impact everyone, but look, I've got a particular interest in one of the programs. But no, to see the stadium, to get a feel for how that space is going to be, reimagined, to think about, what it's going to feel like to be in new spaces in the stadium, to feel how the environment shifts as a result of this effort, I think is going to be awesome. And then you talk about the day in, day out benefit of the new facility. I mean, Jeff Neely being shut down and having that be walking past, the power lines being taken. I mean, it's going to be first class. And for this block here, we're gonna make a statement about Vanderbilt athletics and Vanderbilt football. And we go from functioning in a building that's been around since 1990 to, having something that's state of the art. And I think as the landscape of college athletics, the landscape of college football has changed and is changing. I think this is quite a statement about where Vanderbilt wants to be as things get reimagined here. And so, yeah, I'm thrilled, obviously, and I'm excited for people to see it and excited for people to jump in and support it, because I think for all the people that love our university, love our program, love our department, this is a moment of legacy where we can all chip in and do this thing right and do it in a first-class manner that represents our great university.
That's a great word, reimagined. For somebody who's been looking at that campus and staring at that campus, been on that campus for almost 25 years, that's exactly what I was doing, going through, just looking at those renderings, going, "Wow, this is really cool." And Candace was talking to us, Clark, about indeed how much time she spends. I mean, it's obviously a big part of her job now, and it's more than just your football program, but. You've got a football team to worry about, and you're the head football coach. But how much, as you said, you did get a sneak peek, which you rightfully deserve. But how much input did you have in all of this to get to this point where we saw all this on Friday?
Well, we obviously work together and collaborate on it. But I mean, we're working with Populous, who has just an incredible grip on this world of facility. They've designed some of the greatest in the world, and they have the perfect perspective and experience to design something here that makes the statement that it needs to make. And it's fun for me to to have the chance to visit with them and talk about what our competitors have done and how we want to make sure that what we do has an impact beyond what our competitors have done. And look, we don't need to put like putt-putt golf in. We don't need to do. I mean, we're stitched in the middle of Nashville. I think there's plenty to get done. But can we have access to everything that we need to build the best student-athlete experience in the country? All the recovery modalities, all the things that impact the player's experience in this building. That is so energizing to me. And as we get into like the details of the interior and where the weight room is positioned or how it rolls out into the indoor, I'm sure we'll go further and need input. But right now, it's in the hands of people that are plenty capable, and I've had the chance to meet with them and talk about what my vision is for it. And to this point, they've gone above and beyond even my expectations. So excited to see what's next.
We appreciate you coming on every week, and I know at times it's got to be tough because ultimately you want these to be victories, and they're not victories, and it's not coming fast enough, but you are building a program, and you are building for the future. You've talked about that with us. With that being said, a prime example is I think one thing that really stands out to me is this team is fighting for you, and that's obviously a good sign for you and your staff. And it was a kind of a tale of two halves because they could have easily, if they weren't, and we've seen teams in the past, they just mail it in. It's like, okay, that'll do it. This is not going our way. First half has not been great, but you come out and you play a much better second half. You limit them to 3 points. Just all around much better play, and that means that's a team that's willing to fight for 60 minutes, fight to the end for you and your staff, right? That's what you're building.
Yeah, it is. And the only thing that I would correct you on is that, well, first of all, we've all seen and been a part of teams that don't have the fighting spirit. Mm-hmm. And I've been a part of great teams. I mean, we had moments at Notre Dame where, we came in on Sunday and it was like a long and direct conversation around, why we didn't perform at a level of effort for 4 quarters. So those are things, competing is an emotional experience, and being that's an emotional experience, the ability to stay focused and stay in the fight, to step back into the fire, those are representative of character. The only thing that I would correct you on is just I don't see it that these guys are fighting for me or our staff. I think that we're all fighting for each other. And I think the players see this as a brotherhood and a shared experience and not something where, hey, we need to protect Coach by being competitive. It's deeper than that. It's about, how we're redefining the way that Vanderbilt football responds to adversity, how we're, redefining the competitive spirit that Vanderbilt plays with regardless of what the scoreboard tells us. And, we're disappointed with Saturday because there's a 21-point swing there in the second quarter that we're not able to overcome. But our margin for error is so small, and so those little blips become turning points against us. And until we control those, we're going to be, look, I'm going to have to get with you guys on Tuesdays, and it's going to be about the build. What I look forward to and why I want to have these calls every week, and I'm excited to be a part of it because I want to share the vision and the internal of the program. But I can't wait till we're on this call celebrating and talking about, do you remember when back in 2021, and how things have turned, and that'll happen. It'll only happen though on the back end of our continued effort and discipline, commitment to the vision. There's a lot of work ahead, but it's great work. And I've got a team that is very interested in playing hard and playing together. And we have to do the football part of it at a higher level. We have to, find ways to generate pressure on the quarterback so that we don't have the 2 pass to touchdown sequence, then turn around. We got to protect the ball on offense. We can't make a decision. Kentucky was playing faster than us, and they get a pick six. Next thing you know, that's 21-3. And then we turn around on offense, and we go 3 and out, and we miss hit the punt. they get a short field, and 3 runs later, it's 28-3, and we never gave ourselves a chance. And then from that point forward, the final score of the game is 14-6, Vanderbilt. So, that's not to say we don't look at that and say, hey, we're so close. It's the disappointment of the result, and it's say, like, how do we continue to just focus on the things that we control, that we can do at a higher level, that will allow us to be in a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. Because if we can do that, we can find a way to win. And if we can find a way to win, we just keep the mojo of the program moving forward and the energy and enthusiasm around it. But, we're on our way, and before we worry about results, we worry about the character of the team, and I think the character of the team was shown on Saturday in the second half.
I'm talking to Clark Lee, Vanderbilt football coach, and along those lines, I look at it as you reimagine and you rebuild this culture within this program, everything that we've talked about so far today, they're kind of intertwined with each other. Vandy United and the facilities, I mean, that's obviously going to help in, from a recruiting standpoint and showing that these prospective student athletes, like, hey, this is what you're going to get when you come to Vanderbilt, not only a great education, but these top-notch facilities. So that's obviously going to help you bring in some of these, guys that can help with character and building the culture. And that's when what you're establishing here this year, once that all happens, that's when it all comes together, correct?
That's right. And I think, there's the rebuilds that I've been a part of in the past. So I got to Bowling Green in year 4 with Coach Clausen. It would have been 2012. And so we ended up going to a bowl game that season. But he had come off 2 really, really challenging years prior. It was when I first connected with Mike Elko, who was the defense coordinator there. And it was an incredible look at how persistence and commitment and doing the right things the right way, how it all works. It all fits together. It requires patience and it requires discipline, because it is human nature to want to look for the quick fix. How do we quickly get out of this? Well, something that has taken years to create is not going to take a moment to overcome. We're going to have to, and I said this in the SC Media days, this is the long, hard way. But what I learned from Dave was, and this was true of the time at Wake Forest too, what I learned from Coach Clausen was that getting the people right and getting the mindsets right and not being afraid to, like, for example, in 2012, we went to a bowl game, went to the Military Bowl. I believe we got beat by San Jose State in that game, and I can't remember. And then, as you guys know, I turned 40 last week, so it's all kind of running together. And then the next year, 2013, I left to go to Syracuse, and Coach Clausen and his staff stayed. And in that year transition, they replaced the guy that had started as quarterback. He was still on the roster, but they made the decision to go with the younger player. The starting running back, who was an all-conference player, went home to Florida. We had a starting corner that was kicked off the team and a starting defensive lineman that was removed from the program. All were like, from the outside, I'm like, oh my gosh, how are they going to overcome that? Well, the next year they win the MAC and he gets the Wake Forest job. And I think that is the recipe, that is the formula. It's a relentless commitment to the culture, to the personalities, to the mindsets. I think early in recruiting, this is about finding the builders that are out there. We're going to look for the raw material. Barton and his staff are looking for the height, weight, length, speed. We're going to stay committed to that, but also want a mindset. I want guys that are excited to come in here with a blank canvas and help me and help us, paint the program that we want to have. And know that we're just like when I took this job. It's like, okay, top 15 schools stitched in the middle of Nashville, playing in the only conference that matters. All right, now you look at it and say, wow, new leadership. Chancellor Diermeyer, who is so behind us, and obviously you guys know Candace well. I mean, what an absolute stud that leads our department. And And then you have this convergence of resources where not only is there going to be change internally here, there's going to be change externally. I think that is exciting to the right people. And as we build with that group, that nucleus, you're going to see the results shift. And then as time goes, you're going to see us be able to recruit into the upper echelon of our league. And that is what becomes so exciting to me. But in the moment, this is about the rebuild. This is about doing the next right thing the right way. This is about keeping our head down and staying disciplined and making the decisions now that unlock the potential down the road. And if we try to circumvent steps, if we try to escape the pain that we're in right now, where it's painful as a competitor, if we just try to find a way out of it, we're not going to get this program where it can be, which we believe is to the top of the SEC.
It's interesting thinking about this and the recruiting conversation. You obviously played high school football here, so as you see this vision happen and start to see it on paper with these renderings, just being able to appeal to the kids in this area, because the talent pool here is grown so much in the last few years with high school football. I mean, how important is that going to be just to be able to pluck kids out of Nashville?
Oh, it's huge, and that's where this becomes, to me, a different beast. I get asked a lot about how we compare to other, academic institutions that are playing a high level of football. I don't think that any of those have the 5-hour radius that we have in terms of our talent pool, and specifically when you look at the population boom in Middle Tennessee, But listen, what we have to do is we have to get others to reimagine this program with us. That takes vision, but there's also needs to be tangible signs of support. And that's one of the things that, we can talk about till we're blue in the face regarding how much, the university supports this program. But in the end, the proof becomes of the $300 million, $100 million came right from the university. I mean, they literally cut the check that started the whole thing. Chancellor Dearmeyer's unyielding support and having this facility go from concept to reality, and the visible signs of progress, the visible signs of investment. Those things matter to people, particularly people that have been used to a program that's underperformed and have looked at it and said, hey, this doesn't seem important to the university community. Now it's like there is no way to say that. This is incredibly important, and I think it's going to go a long way in energizing that talent pool to say, hey, there's something different going on at Vanderbilt. Let's go check it out and see what's going on. And then it's up to me and my staff to share that vision with them to get them connected to where this thing's headed. But, I am endlessly energized for where we're going. I understand exactly what we're going through. It's not, would I rather it be something where, it's easier and where, I just waved the magic wand and came up with all the, absolutely. But I don't think that's what's required here. I think what's required is that we strip this down to the studs, that we build it up, not taking any shortcuts, that our players become connected completely with the task at hand, so that as we redirect ourselves into year two, we are not just dipping our toe in the water of preparation, but we're totally immersed in what that 8 months can do for us to build us into a more competitive team so that we can go chase the results that we want next year. And that will be replicated over time. And obviously the focus right now is on finishing strong. But as far as the energy and enthusiasm behind what we're doing and what we're building, I think it's tangible when you're around our players and around our staff.
Well, we look forward to talking about the victories, too, with you. Go get them this week in Oxford. Thanks for doing this, as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
Great to be with you guys, and, look forward to that next week.
All right, that is head football coach Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. They will take on Ole Miss this week. I'm going to talk to you about my friends over at Cool Springs MD, and you've heard me talk about them for years because I've been going to them for years, and they've helped me become healthier and happier and improve my quality of life. And as we all age, aren't we all striving for that? And maybe you've tacked on some unwanted pounds. Well, they can help you. in that because they've got programs and products and people that can get you back on track and headed in the right direction. Rejuvenation, your appearance is important, and it gets tougher as we age. Well, their staff will be more than happy to sit down with you and talk about PRP, hair removal, Botox, and finally hormone therapy. You know, have you ever had your levels checked? Did you know that as you age, as you get older, your levels tend to go down? And sometimes they can go down to an all-time low, which could affect your drive. It could affect your energy. It could affect your mood. It could affect all the above. And maybe you've been feeling really off lately. And they can certainly talk to you about BHRT, testosterone, estrogen. They do it all. It's Dr. Jeffrey Lodge, the board-certified physician, his wife Daphne, the registered nurse, and their experienced staff can help you in a variety of ways. They've got a state-of-the-art facility there in Cool Springs at 1642 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or a consultation by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Want to have the most delicious Thanksgiving meal ever and not deal with the cleanup? Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel will have a family-style meal with a menu that makes your mouth water just thinking about it. Herb butter roasted Joyce Farms turkey breast with gravy, or sorghum glazed ham, smashed Yukon Gold potatoes, biscuits and sage dressing waffles, green bean casserole, and southern corn pudding. Make your Thanksgiving easy this year at Kitchen Notes in the Omni. Go to opentable.com and make your reservations now.
Love thy neighbor, like Neighbors Nashville. Founded and operated by former Titans standout Zach Piller, Neighbors Germantown and Neighbors Sylvan Park have been a fixture in the community for years and is open and ready to serve you in their legendary atmosphere. Sure to deliver a one-of-a-kind experience for everyone. Both locations are open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 a.m., and Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 3 a.m., with happy hour specials weekdays from 3 to 7. Go check out Neighbors, the best sports entertainment bar in Nashville.
It's game day in Smashville.
Roman Yoshi wraps it up.
The Nashville Predators are in Toronto, looking to keep rolling against the Leafs. Pre-game coverage begins at 5 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's happening in Nashville? This is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another roller in the night. Blinded by the lights,
Is that music from like an 8-track? That was really distorted.
Little loud.
Sounded like a cassette or 8-track, man.
No, it's recorded off the radio, like in 1973.
My goodness.
No, it's a
I
bootleg.
got it from my time machine.
Loud and very distorted. Back here on the DDC, Darren McFarland and Chase McCabe with you. Mitch Light from The Athletic joins us every week after we talk with Clark Lee, and we talk some college football with him. And we really uncovered some hard-hitting stuff. There's a lot of misinformation out there about Clark Lee's birthday and how old he is.
How old is he?
We got clarification. Well, it all started when I saw a tweet this morning, Mitch, from Brett McMurphy wishing Clark Lee a happy 39th birthday. I was like, oh, cool. We're having him on later today. I'll start the interview off by telling him happy birthday, and that's what I did. And he's like, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there about my birthday. And it's like, oh, because it was very clear after we had this conversation with him, he's had a lot of this going on here lately. And then you go to his wiki page, and it says his birthday is November 11th at one point of his Wikipedia, and then at another point it says his birthday is November 16th. So
Wikipedia is not 100% accurate.
I know that's another thing that we've discovered, that for some
Shocker.
reason the internet has messed up. I mean, the internet has messed up. And it says he's 39, by the way, and he told us he's 40.
So when is his birthday?
November the 11th.
Okay, so
and he's 40
part
on
of Wikipedia
November 11th.
was right. Gotcha. Duly noted.
Well, part of it was right on his birthday. It was completely wrong on how old he is because it said he's 39.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's 40. He's a man.
He's a man. Okay. He can, so good to know. Duly noted. I will, I digress for a second there. I'm very good with birthdays and usually friends and relatives and all that stuff, but I have a mental block where I forget my parents' anniversary every year, and it's sometime in November, and my mom gets mad at me every year, and it's like a running joke, and then she forgot my anniversary last year, and it was the greatest thing ever. So I could just say, well, you can't remember mine, so that's all. When you were going about the different dates of Clive, I was trying to think, it's like, I hope my parents didn't miss their anniversary.
Like I said today, please make it be today.
No, I thought, what I thought Mitch was going to say? Now it'll be easy for me to remember because my parents' anniversary is November the 11th. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, I was hoping he was going to be like, oh, crap, it's today.
That's why I was kind of pausing there. I was trying to think, oh, no, is it today? I think it's later in the month. So, Dad, if you're listening, happy anniversary, maybe.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to hang up the phone when I'm done with this interview. I'm going to text my sister and say, when is Mom and Dad's anniversary? So,
yeah, I don't think Wikipedia has that.
Yeah, Ann and Martin Light anniversary. So, because if they had a Wikipedia page, it would probably have been set up by me, and I would have gotten their anniversary wrong. So, but let's talk some college football.
I have given out a free bet for the listeners and for Chase, anybody who would listen, for next year. It's a futures bet.
Okay.
When Oklahoma plays Baylor, bet the house on the Sooners because they're going to house the Bears next year. If Lincoln Riley's the head coach and Dave Aranda is still the head coach at Baylor, if both of those are in place, you could go on and take it to the bank. Oklahoma is going to mess them up next year because you don't do what Baylor did this year at the end of the game and expect to get away with it the next year when they go to Norman because – they're going to remember that. That was a very odd ending to the Baylor-Oklahoma game.
Yeah, it was, and I think I was flipping around. That was one of the games I had on, and I think it turned it off at some point when it was clinched. And I was like, then I saw on Twitter, rushing the field, and then not rushing the field, and kicking field goals, and what's going on, and kicking for the tiebreaker, which isn't, I guess, the tiebreaker anymore. It's not going to come into play. So, yeah, I mean, the ultimate for Baylor would be if Oklahoma tries to beat the you-know-what out of them next year and still loses. So, but I'm with you. I think people remember stuff like this when the coaches and players say they don't remember things. They're not being truthful because athletes will use anything for motivation, and there's no doubt that, Oklahoma doesn't take kindly to feats like that. And, you can say it's a compliment when opposing fans rush the field. That's not really what the issue was. I'm sure you're referring to the field goal there. So if both of those coaches are in place next year, I think it'll be a little extra spice in that game.
Would we be sitting here talking with you today about Florida's next coach if they lose to Samford?
If they would have lost to Samford, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't. It's interesting because we saw what Virginia Tech did today. I mean, there's really no. Once you come to a certain point in the season, like USC is one thing differently. It's different. Like early in the year, it was not going well, and they were clear they were going to make a change. So it's like I see why they did that early, and I know it's all based around the early signing period and all that stuff. But I was kind of surprised that Virginia Tech did it with 2 games to go. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like under normal times, I would say if you made it this far in the season, you're probably going to coach out the rest of the year. But with the early signing period and with all those other jobs open, possibly, it still could happen. I mean, they went Missouri and Florida State, but losing that the way that game went was just inexcusable. I mean, for University of Florida, there's no excuse for losing to an FCS opponent. I know Will Muschamp lost to Georgia Southern and lost his job the next year, but it wasn't like they were losing 20-13. Giving up all those points in one half is just absolutely inexcusable for the University of Florida.
They were losing 42-35 at the half in Gainesville to Samford.
Yeah, I mean, and then Dan Mullen's going there talking after the game how the team's making plays and their offense is going to score points. Well, yeah, they score some points against FCS opponents. Again, you're Florida, and sometimes other teams make plays. I get it. Okay, so Samford scores 21 on you in the first half, but not 42. That's inexcusable.
Yeah. So were you surprised about the Virginia Tech decision today, and who do you think ultimately is going to be the next guy up?
It wasn't, like I said, wasn't surprised. Been reading, I've worked with not exclusively, but I've been working with Andy Bitter, our Virginia Tech writer, a lot lately, and so I've been reading a lot of his stuff. And, the writing was on the wall, and, I think Fuente even knew it for the last, half of the season. They had some difficult losses earlier this year. I mean, it tells you college football season is a small sample size. You only play 12 games, and a play or two here can change your fortunes. They lost double-digit leads to Syracuse at home, and then lost an 8-point lead, or maybe a 9-point lead to Notre Dame in the fourth quarter. They win those 2 games, their season's different. But it just that was one of those hires. I'm sure you guys remember. We all thought it was such a good fit culturally. Everything about Justin Fuente seemed to be a good fit there at Virginia Tech, and it just didn't work out. So, I mean, who knows where they go? Jamie Chadwell would seem to be a pretty good fit in that region. Though the one thing about Chadwell, and Bruce Feldman wrote about this today at The Athletic, is kind of what scared some schools off from him in the past is neither he or any of his assistants have ever worked at Power 5 schools. And you can say coaching's coaching, but the dynamic's different, the recruiting is different. So, if he is to become a more viable candidate, maybe he needs to, make some promises about hiring some more experienced assistants. So I think he would be probably near the top of my list if I was with Babcock, the athletic director.
So, like Wake Forest had a big win over NC State. You had Oklahoma State pound TCU. You had Notre Dame take it to Virginia on the road. Trying to think of the other kind of like one loss.
By the way, Darren, Dave Clawson would be a guy I would, if he would be willing to leave the comforts of Wake Forest. I think those that know Dave Clawson and followed his career, maybe he's not a fit at a place like Florida or USC or LSU, but Virginia Tech is sort of in that. That's why we thought Fuente would be a good fit there. Sort of in that middle ground. It's got, big time aspirations. It's a big time budget, big time everything. But it's kind of tucked away in Blacksburg. It doesn't have – I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, but it's just not quite the same as one of those other schools. So maybe that is the type of place that Dave Clawson would leave for, or maybe he'd just say, you know what, I'm happy at Wake Forest. I built this thing, and they appreciate me here, and I'm never leaving. So you never know.
Okay, so another round of the rankings come out tonight. So Georgia, Alabama. And then how's it going to look after that? 3, 4, 5, and 6. What do you think it's going to look like?
I don't think there's going to be any change, really. I mean, I think it was a boring week for the most part, college football. Obviously, but, just reviewing right here, I mean, I think Oregon's one thing about Oregon, too, I don't know if you guys saw the game. The score was a little close for a while, but they got a controversial call at the goal line where they would have gone up scores in the third quarter, and then they just blew out Washington State in the fourth quarter. So I thought they looked good and solidified their standing. Ohio State obviously played very well. Cincinnati kind of screwed around for a little bit before flexing its muscles there. So I don't think we're going to see a change at all. Oklahoma's going to drop, obviously, but they weren't really in the mix yet. So I think it's going to be kind of a boring ranking tonight.
We're talking to Mitch Light of The Athletic. And Mitch, I'm curious, just as your thoughts as a Vanderbilt alum, you see the renderings of the new facilities and the stadium and all of that, just kind of your thoughts. We just had a really insightful conversation with Clark Lee about kind of what that means moving forward, but I'm curious of your point of view.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see it down on paper or on video, whatever. It's stuff we've been hearing about for a couple of years now, and even some time before that it's coming. And, if you've been around the program for years like I have and Willie has, I'm sure you guys have talked about it, there's periods where you hear things are coming and the periods where you hear they're not coming, and until things get announced, sometimes you don't believe it, but, the fact that they're, when they made the announcement last year, to me, that was the point of no return. I mean, everything I hear about Chancellor Deermeyer, he's 100% all in and is invested and all that stuff that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when the shovel hits the ground, and I understand there might be some delays with some infrastructure things around the campus that are sort of out of their hand, but I think it's exciting that the renderings look cool. I think it'll really spruce up the football stadium. You see so many of these smallish type stadiums, like Wake Forest is one, and TCU, although that's a little bigger, that really have those really nice buildings in the end zones that really make the stadium look nicer. And I think with how the basketball practice facility will kind of butt up against that, will make it look nice there. So I think it's exciting times. And I was talking to someone about this the other day. All that's good, and it's going to help things, but really it comes down to winning games on the football field. And Clark Lee knows that, and his bosses know that as well.
I've been to TCU Stadium. It is nice. For one of the smaller ones, it's very nice. But moving on to some of the games and going back to the rankings for a second, Ohio State, sure. They're next to Michigan State, Michigan. Do you give either one a chance to play? I'm not even going to call it an upset. They're top 10 teams, but to get the win against the Buckeyes?
Well, they'd be upsets. I mean, I think Michigan State's, a 20-point dog?
Yeah.
But I give Michigan a much stronger chance, not just because the game is in, I believe it's in Ann Arbor. I just think, rankings, whatever, I think Michigan's the better team. I didn't agree with Michigan being ahead of Michigan State in the actual ranking last week because they played so recently, but I think if you've watched the whole season, you're not going on a limb saying that Michigan's the better team, even though Michigan State won that game. So you're not asking me which team I think should be ranked higher. You're asking kind of which team I think has a better chance of beating Ohio State. If you watch the way they played against Penn State and played defense and made just enough plays on offense, I think Michigan State clearly has a better chance. And Ohio State's been an interesting team this year. When they look good, they are mesmerizing, but they haven't always looked good. I don't put too much stock in what Purdue did offensively last week because that game was way out of hand early, and I think Ohio State got a little vanilla in the second half and just didn't want to give up huge plays there. So I would not pick either Michigan State or Michigan to beat Ohio State, but I think Michigan has a much better chance.
And then looking at Oregon, they are at Utah this weekend, and then their last game against Oregon State. Is this the best chance for them to stumble down the stretch?
Well, they're probably going to play Utah twice. So, I think, Oregon State, I believe, beat them last year. Jonathan Smith's got that team playing well. Their offense is good. It's the type of thing where each individual game you think Oregon's going to win, but are they going to win all three? That's a different story. I mean, beating a good Utah team twice will be difficult. So my guess is they're not going to win all three games. Would it be this week? It's at Utah, you said, right?
Yeah,
I believe it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough game. Utah didn't play great last week, but they've had ever since they made the quarterback change to Cam Rising, the former Texas quarterback, they've been really good, and that's a good team there. So, but I was impressed from what I saw about Oregon. I was kind of like a lot of people, sort of an Oregon doubter because they hadn't been playing great, but I was really impressed with the way they played last week against Washington State.
So does that, if Oregon stumbles at some point, at these next three games, and Cincinnati keeps winning, does that open the door for them, or does it open the door for somebody else?
it helps Cincinnati a lot. You could say, okay, well, what if Michigan beats Ohio State? Does that knock Ohio State off and puts Michigan? So does that not hurt Cincinnati? I think the best thing to happen to Cincinnati was probably Oklahoma losing. Now, Oklahoma State's still lingering.
Yeah.
How would the committee look at an Oklahoma State Big 12 champ that plays? They would probably have to beat Oklahoma and then Baylor in the championship game. How would they view them against an undefeated Cincinnati if Cincinnati continues not to look great? Now, Cincinnati still plays Houston and SMU, good teams, not great teams. So we'll get a better barometer on them. So I think Cincinnati was helped a lot by that Oklahoma loss. They still need to win, still need to play well, but they're in better shape than people kind of gave the whole situation credit for when they weren't in that top 4 in the initial rankings, and everyone kind of lost it. So if they keep winning and playing well, they've got a very good chance.
What about Notre Dame?
Yeah, it's interesting. People kind of been dismissed Notre Dame that they kind of have a ceiling now. Their problem is Cincinnati, not just that they lost the game. How could you ever rank a Notre Dame team ahead of Cincinnati if Cincinnati's undefeated and they beat Notre Dame? You can't. Now, if they both have one loss, that's a different story. You probably wouldn't win many arguments there because Cincinnati was clearly the better team that day, but there's no way you can rank an undefeated Cincinnati ahead of a one-loss Notre Dame. But they've been playing very well. I think they're, just imagine where they'd be ranked if they would have beat Cincinnati. I know ifs and all that stuff, but they might be number 2 ahead of Alabama or maybe 3 right now. So I think a lot of things have to happen for Notre Dame, but they are, they might be one of the best 5 or 6 teams in the country right now, even though they're not ranked there.
Well, Mitch, go find out when your parents' anniversary is. But good job today. We appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Mitch Light of The Athletic joins us every Tuesday after Clark Lee. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up on a Tuesday when we come back here on Darren Donick and Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tonight. Cerro's able to cover it up. Johansson tips it in. Back to Duchesne. He scores.
The Nashville Predators head back on the road to face Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pre-game at 5, face-off at 6 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Willie here. I'm coming at you from north of the border today, up in Canada this week, the eastern part of the country. Predators with some big games coming up. And I've got a word about Loan Pronto. Home values are skyrocketing back home in our listening area. That means right now is a great time to take some cash out of your home's equity. You can call Loan Pronto now, and they can fast-track your home refi, get you a check for thousands of dollars. And if you call now, Loan Pronto can even pay those closing costs. So that means you're walking away with the big check. You can get cash out now. You might need it for high-interest credit cards that you need to pay off. Imagine being credit card debt-free for the new year, or consolidate other loans, pay for other holiday expenses, or reinvest in your home with a home improvement project. Get those finances in great shape for 2022. How do you do it? You get that low APR in the 2s from Loan Pronto. Do it right now. Access that home equity while rates are still really low, and they make it easy. Loan Pronto's refi. They can close in 2 weeks. The process is great. Call them now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. If you do it now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Temperatures a little warmer this morning. We've got mostly cloudy skies. A few sprinkles will be possible, but highs this afternoon will be in the upper 60s and lower 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Hey. Hey. Nice tailgate setup.
Thanks. Dos Equis?
Sure.
Really hits the spot.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Well, I hope your team never wins as long as I'm alive.
Same to you.
A dose of respect. Brought to you by Dos Equis, proud sponsor of college football. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2021. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
What's up, everybody? This is Teron Davenport, and I am here to tell you about Freedom Tire Guys. They're Nashville's premier mobile tire service. New tires, rotating, balancing, flat repair, torquing, they do it all. I can tell you this from personal experience. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at the Titans facility. They came there and changed my tires, all 4 of them. They did an excellent job. My car is riding extra smooth now. If you're in need of tire service, be sure to check them out at freedomtireguys.com. If you don't see the tires you want, they'll go ahead and get it for you.
Jared Stillman.
I cannot believe they picked this guy I've never heard of.
And company.
You're forced to play cap gymnastics, which makes it a little bit more difficult for picking up other guys.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Good one on Sunday, our NFL game of the week here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. That's brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. It's going to be Dallas at KC.
That is a good one.
Cowboys and Chiefs, 3:25 kickoff following the Titans-Texans game. That'll be a really good game.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up on BetMGM right now because I haven't looked. I'm curious of the line on that.
I haven't looked at any of the lines.
Yeah, I haven't either. I can give you some of those. Titans favored by 10.5, which seems about right. At home. The interesting. Okay, so you haven't looked at the line.
Nope.
For this. Chiefs favored by 2.5.
I was going to say 1.5. Okay.
Yeah. Chiefs are the home favorite there. By 2.5. Couple others. Packers are only a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Minnesota. It's kind of interesting. Bills a 7-point favorite at home against Indy.
There's another good one that's got to be watched in this market. Pay close attention to that game. In fact, I was looking at the current playoff pictures today to see if the playoffs were to start this weekend. The Titans would be the number 1 seed in the AFC with a bye.
Yep.
The Packers would be the number 1 seed in the NFC with a bye.
Yep.
First wild card weekend. How about this? Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Ravens and Patriots. Bills, Chargers. Over on the NFC side, Tampa Bay and LA, the Rams. That's a wild card weekend. Rams,
that is good.
Bucks. Cowboys, Saints. Cardinals, Carolina Panthers. Gross.
That is good. Hey, real quick, on BetMGM, there was a new favorite for AP Coach of the Year.
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel, plus 450.
I finally got it right.
Yeah, McCarthy is at plus 500, Kingsbury plus 600.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That will do it for our show today. Remember, Predators and Leafs tonight in Toronto. 6 o'clock puck drop pregame at 5 o'clock. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Continue to be safe. We want you back with us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Stay tuned. Stillman and Company's next.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Did you see the Tennessee Titans? He has all the weapons to make it happen.
There's so much to pay attention to. Greeny from 9 to 11.
Ryan Tannehill is the most disrespected player.
Art and Han from 11 to 2.
You never stop punching. They've got to learn how to close the deal.
And the